that they go to.
And at least 30 people have been injured after a magnitude 7.5 earthquake hit northeastern Japan, forcing thousands of people to evacuate their homes. The quake occurred yesterday at a depth of 50 kilometers, prompting tsunami warnings, which have now been lifted. Some train services have been suspended and thousands of homes have been left without power as a result. Authorities have also warned that a stronger tremor could occur in the coming days, urging the public to remain on high alert for at least a week. Gold is trading at $4,189.94 an ounce. The rand is at 17.04 to the dollar, 22.71 to the pound, 19.85 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $62.37 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North. This is between the N12 exit and the Deep Kloof interchange. There's also queuing traffic already on the Mike 1 North between Boysons Road and the Crown interchange.
And in your sport, Man United moves 6th in the Premier League with the 4-1 win at bottom club Wolves on a slot. Not sure if Mohamed Salah will ever play for Liverpool again after comments. And the Proteas have a key T20 World Cup build-up game with the series against India starting today.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with thundershowers expected. Johannesburg starting at 15 degrees, peaking at 29. Pretoria 16 and 31. Vereeniging 15 and 30. The top story in EWN this hour. Police have opened a case against the owner of a tavern in Pretoria where 12 people, including 3 children, were killed.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Walking the talk, 7 minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome to the show. My name indeed is Bongani Bingwa, and I'm thrilled to be in your company for the next 3 hours. On our menu today, we are going to look at some more details into that Soulsville massacre. That's really what it was, right? That tavern shooting. And when you say tavern, I don't know what comes to your mind, but you imagine some kind of formal establishment. You imagine at least maybe some kind of sign outside. Perhaps they've got a beer brand or a cool drink brand, something that indicates to people this is a local pub, right? This is a local watering hole. This is nothing of the kind. This is essentially, it looks like a one-room apartment that has been turned. An apartment, again, is a fancy word for this, that has been turned into a tavern. There was a subdivision where the people were drinking, and behind this wooden subdivision was a bedroom. And that's where the miners were sleeping. Unknown gunmen came in and randomly shot at the patrons, didn't stop there, went behind this division and shot at the sleeping miners, the sleeping kids. So many questions around how something like that happens. Do you know, statistics say that police have closed over 12,000 illegal liquor outlets between April and September. But of course, what happens in South Africa? You close it one day, the next week it's open again.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
So tavern is the word of the day. That's what we call them these days, right? It's really nothing more than the old shebeen. It's as informal gets, if you follow what I mean. So we're going to be speaking to Hannes Kutsia, the City of Tshwane's MMC for Community Safety. We've also got Nomcebo Dlamini from the Southern African Alcohol Policy Alliance to talk to us about, because what we do know is that in many a township, in many an informal settlement, in many a rural area, these kind of establishments operate with impunity. And you can't tell me the officers don't know where they are. Quite often, in fact, it's the officers themselves buying booze at some of these establishments. There are no operating hours. People can access them at any moment of the day. I mean, this was, as I understand it, this shooting occurred at around 4 o'clock. The initial reporting said Sunday morning, but it turns out to have been Saturday morning. So that's how that unfolded in Soulsville in Tshwane. And then I don't know if you watched the inquiry into the fitness of Andrew Chauke, Advocate Andrew Chauke, I should say, to hold office. He is, of course, the Joburg prosecutions boss about whom the National Director of Public Prosecutions, Advocate Shamila Patoy, complained to the president. And it took 2 years for the president to respond to those complaints. And this is the difference. If you ever wanted to know the difference between what you can post on social media, what you can put in your WhatsApp groups, what you can say you heard, and even if you throw in the word allegedly, if you ever want to know what the difference between that is and evidence tested in a formal court of law, this would be a very, very good example. I'm going to play you some of the exchanges. They were absolutely unbelievable. I know I use the word extraordinary a lot, and I'm trying not to today, but they really, you want to rub your eyes. You want to hit your ears because you think, how can the country's top cop appear so ill-advised, so ill-prepared, so completely over her depth? It really is just, it is quite extraordinary. So we'll go into that and we'll speak to Melusi Kulu about that. He's a legal expert in the first hour of the show. And then FlySafair has a new marketing campaign. They're offering 10,000 Rand if you can spot the sleigh. The Chief Marketing Officer, Kirby Gordon, will join us just after 8 to explain all of that for us. And then we'll speak to the Mzansi National Philharmonic. They are launching what they're calling the Voices of Home Tour. And you've already heard from Africa Milani. It'll be in Cape Town mid-December, but it starts here in Joburg. And they're going to tell us all about it.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
12 minutes after 6 o'clock. Here's our shout out for the day. For you, the work that you do, is it passion or is it pay? Are you doing what you do because you have passion for it, or is the pay a major factor? And I know that when your bosses are listening, you're supposed to say, I do it for the passion. But would you do it if there was no pay, or if the pay was significantly less than what you think the job deserves? I'm keen to know. Send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072 702 1702. I'm not alone, of course, in the studio. There's an entire team behind the scenes, from the social media production to the producers who put the show behind the scenes. They're the ones you hear when you call us on 011 883 0702. You hear them first. We've got Siamtanda and Rupfiwa in the booth. KG starting the clock. And as ever, my sunshines, Amoramila and Muteo Kharipe. Good morning to you two.
Good
Morning,
morning,
Bongs.
Bongs.
Pay your passion. Amo?
Oh, I remember when I was working for a community radio station and I was so passionate about what I was doing, Bongs. It was so lovely. I enjoyed every single day of waking up in the morning just to go and serve my community.
And now?
And but the
What are you
pay
saying?
was significantly low.
Yeah.
It was so low.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter to me because I was happy, you know.
Yeah.
Until responsibilities came by and I realized that I have to now, you know, start providing for my family, myself. Things are getting hectic now, you know. And then I realized that actually the two go together, whether we like it or not. The economy that we live in.
Two wings of an airplane.
Absolutely.
You just reminded me of something. So my radio or my broadcasting journey in many ways starts at 7:02. I'm doing overnight, I'm doing news, blah, blah, blah. I leave, I go to Carte Blanche, and I worked there for many years. But I knew in the back of my head I wasn't done with this place, not yet.
Yeah.
And so I remember filling in during the December holidays, because we'd close shop at Carte Blanche, and I would fill in for David O'Sullivan, who was hosting the afternoon drive in those days, just because I wanted the skill, I wanted the hours, and I knew somewhere in my future I'm going to go do that thing. And here I am, right? But I just remember, it must have been December 20, either 12 or 13 or 14, one of those. For freelancers who would fill in, the pay was so low. I think there was a year I didn't invoice.
Because of the how low it was. It wouldn't
Just
make
like,
a
it's
difference.
okay.
It just reminded me.
It wouldn't make a difference.
How much do they owe me with interest now?
Okay,
Do you
Makate.
think I just go back? So the passion was always very clear for me, Muteo, pay or passion?
Pay. Definitely pay. But also, given the hours we work, definitely passion, because sometimes it's a Sunday, people are partying, and you know what? I need to go because tomorrow I need to serve. So you leave. It's pay and passion.
Simple as that. All right. Sometimes the passion comes from the pay. See what I mean? Send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072 702 1702. Do you do what you do for the passion, or do you do it for the pay? And before you quickly rush to say, oh, it's the passion, would you therefore do it if the pay was significantly less? Would you do it anyway? Or would you rather find yourself doing something else? Or is it more complex for you? Your responsibilities mean it's a lovely question, but it doesn't apply to you because your responsibilities demand the pay. Let us know.
Good morning, Bongani. Yeah, I'm doing it for survival. Not even pay, not even fulfillment, like nothing. It's just because I need a job. The pay isn't great. The job sucks. The hours suck. There's no future. There's nothing. But at least I have medical aid, right? So yeah, no. I'm doing it because you job, and there's nowhere to run to. Like, I apply for work every single day. Back at school doing my MBA. I'm trying to get out of there, but I'm just stuck. So let's just say I'm doing it because I'm stuck.
I love that you're pursuing more, though, right? Going for that MBA. You sound very passionate about the subject. Maybe beyond your job, is there a passion project you would be willing to do for free simply because you love it? So let's say your pay is sorted with your regular job. Is there a passion project you'd want to pursue simply for the pay? Do you volunteer anywhere? Do you volunteer your skills without payment? And what really, really motivates you? The passion in the work or the financial stability, the ability to provide for those you love?
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Now, let's get straight into that inquiry, looking into the fitness to hold office of the Joburg prosecution's boss, Advocate Andrew Chauke. Remember, it was the National Director of Public Prosecutions who laid a complaint and said to the president, I cannot work with this guy. We've got to look at what he has been doing. So she raised a number of questions about some of the decisions he was taking. Some of this needs a little bit of detail and explanation. And that's really not the focus of what I'm trying to explain or show you today. But I want you to listen to the line of questioning Advocate Batoy faced from, of course, the lawyer of Andrew Chauke, and that would be none other than Advocate Tembeka Ngugaitobi, challenging her on repeated references, for example, to state capture. One of the things she had said was that Andrew Chauke was involved in state capture. Well, yesterday, that is put to the test by Advocate Ngugaitobi. Have a listen.
Can I ask you another topic? You have repeatedly mentioned state capture in this inquiry. Do you remember that?
I do.
Do you have any personal knowledge that Advocate Chauke was involved in state capture?
I don't have any personal knowledge.
So then it was grossly irresponsible of you to mention state capture in the context of Advocate Chauke when you have no personal knowledge of his involvement in state capture.
Should I comment on that?
If you want to, I'm putting it to you that I will argue that you were attempting to poison the atmosphere when you had no evidence, but you mentioned state capture together with Mr. Chauke.
The reason why I did is that I was asked about why I took certain actions when I did. And I explained that because that was in fact the NPA and capture of the criminal justice system was something that the Zondo Commission was inquiring in.
Right, she goes on quite a lengthy explanation. Of course, one of the things Ngugaitobi does is to try and establish that they agree what they mean by state capture. And as defined by the Zondo Commission, she agrees to it. And then she says, all right, you've been saying this man was involved in state capture. What personal knowledge do you have of it? And she, of course, says she doesn't have any. It continued. There was more. I hope your tea is hot. I hope your coffee, your cup of coffee is steaming hot as you listen to this because, wow.
I thought you said the case against Advocate Chauke is that he sought to have Advocate Mlotshwa sign an indictment.
That's correct.
I am saying to you, there is not a single charge here that refers to Advocate Chauke attempting to get Advocate Mlotshwa to sign an indictment.
That's correct. I'm not aware of the other, if it's anywhere else on this, but
But
certainly
you
not.
can go through them now. There is enough time. And just show me where it is alleged that Advocate Chauke sought to have Advocate Mlotshwa sign an indictment.
Well, it may or may not be there, but that is our case.
Well, Advocate Batoyi, please.
Just before you proceed, just one thing. Advocate Batoyi, did you familiarize yourself with the terms of reference?
No, I didn't.
And you are the complainant in this matter?
That's correct. Well, you can call me the complainant. It's the president that decided. So I'm not sure that I'm the complainant, but I certainly made a referral to the president.
So, and that's the critical bit, is right there at the end. The chairperson of the inquiry, the retired Constitutional Court Justice, Besin Kabinde, intervenes. Because as she's being asked these questions and she doesn't know, she says, hang on a minute, Advocate Batoyi, did you familiarize yourself with the terms of reference? Remember, you are the one who wrote to the president. You said this guy's a problem, right? So when the president then sets up an inquiry looking into your complaint, surely because you know you are going to be part of the process to explain what it is you didn't like about this guy, you would read the terms of reference of the process the president has set up. Surely. Like entry-level stuff, that's where you start. She hasn't read the terms of reference. I mean, one more. Here, the chairperson presses Advocate Batoyi about the terms of reference, and these are some of your answers.
When did you see for the first time the gazetted terms of reference?
I'm not sure, Chairperson. I can't recall when I saw it for the first time.
Should I assume that by 1 October 2025, you had already looked at the terms of reference?
No, we can't assume that, Chairperson.
So remember, the terms of reference aren't just in an email. They're part of a government gazette, right? An official notice of government. And yeah, ne? In the next hour of the show, we'll speak to a legal expert about what you've just heard.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
Muteo Khalipa, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know this morning from you, Bongani, and the other 702 landers, when it comes to groceries, are you loyal to well-known brands, or do you sometimes also buy house brands from that particular retailer?
Yes, I do. Guys, sugar is sugar.
That's
Sorry,
your take.
Hewlett.
It doesn't matter whether it's branded or not.
Sorry, Hewlett. I'm going for the cheapest.
Yeah.
And it's not always, in fact, that
The
the
cheapest,
no-name
Yeah,
brands are the
are the
cheapest,
cheapest.
just by the way, right? But if it's cheaper, sugar is sugar.
You're not
guys.
fussy.
I know.
Amu?
Not in my house, no. You will not come home with a no-name brand. You will just not.
Really?
My husband will not have it at all. And if you do, it will not be consumed. It will just stay there for yeah.
Don't
So,
you quickly buy it and decant it?
No.
Then he doesn't know.
Sometimes I don't even have that time. And because I don't want to go through explaining and I'd rather not. So instead of buying a no-name brand.
There's a quality issue. Sorry to interrupt you, Amo.
I
Is
don't
it a
know,
quality issue?
Bongs. We've spoken about this many times.
Ask him to send us a voice note and explain. I don't want you to sleep on the couch. I'm joking.
What is this? We'd rather buy. So if maybe the one brand that we used to buying is higher, we'd rather buy another brand,
A different brand.
Yeah. So if it's all gold that we're buying tomato sauce
Yeah.
every month,
Yeah.
we'd rather on that particular month buy Wellington tomato sauce. He would be happy with that.
As long as it's branded.
As long as it's branded, as long as it's not no name. It's
Guys, tuna is tuna. Right?
Not in my house, no.
Wow.
702.
Weather.
Right, this non-branded weather, 24 after 6 o'clock. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Thunder showers are expected. Temperatures peaking at 29 in Joburg. 31 is your high in Pretoria. 34 for Eniging. Durban will max at a lovely 29 degrees. Again, showers there expected. And Cape Town maxes at 25.
EWN traffic.
Now, this EWN traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand.
Well, Bongani, we've got delays already on the N1 North between the N12 exit and the Diepkloof interchange. A car is stuck on the road right near the Golden Highway, and that's the reason for that queue while traveling. On the Mark 1 North, we've got delays between Boysons Road and the Crown interchange. There's also queuing traffic along the N12 West, leaving the Benoni area towards Snake Road. So please be on the lookout there. More updates coming up. But if you come across anything else, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The roads just aren't the same without the Outsurance pointsman. Like the family reunion without that uncle who makes everyone laugh with his dad jokes. But even the Outsurance pointsmen need some time off. So they're going to be on leave from the 12th of December, but back on the roads, easing the New Year traffic congestion from 9 January 2026. The Outsurance pointsman getting you there quickly and safely for the past 20 years. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love online using hashtag pointsmanlove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
All right, what you need to know at this hour, we told you yesterday that the ANC is facing some kind of cash crunch. Well, yesterday, as you might expect, members or employees, rather, of the ANC staged a protest outside the party's National General Council meeting at Birchwood Hotel in Boksburg over unpaid salaries, some of which they say date as far back as August 2023. Workers say they have yet to receive their August, October and November and possibly December salaries, and they were there to protest. And we heard, of course, from the Secretary General himself saying that he had not yet been paid. So those... I think it's 2025, I beg your pardon, not August 2023, but August 2025. Those salaries not paid dating back to August 2025, just to make that clear. But that's why we're asking that question, passion or pay? Clearly, the African National Congress thinks its employees are doing it for the love of the game, for the fun of it. I mean, yeah, ne? I wonder if those employees vote for the ANC. Police have identified 3 persons of interest in the murder of Marius van der Merwe, aka Witness D, and those suspects have been, or at least people, have been taken into custody for questioning. You remember, of course, van der Merwe was shot dead outside his Brakpan home shortly after testifying about alleged corruption at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Syrians marked 1 year since the fall of Bashar al-Assad with nationwide celebrations, military parades, and renewed hope yesterday as the new government works to restore services, rebuild infrastructure, and close notorious prisons. Now think about this, right? Do you think we've got spare cash going around as South Africa, as a government? Well, yesterday we heard from DIRCO Minister Ronald Lamola in response to a parliamentary question that we're giving away apparently millions in foreign aid to neighboring countries and those who are our allies, according to details provided by Minister Lamola, and they're part of our diplomatic and foreign aid budget. How does that sit with you? And on this day in 1995, Michael Jackson claimed his 6th solo UK #1 when Earth Song became a 6-week chart topper in the UK. It became his biggest selling single in the UK. Didn't do the same magic in the States for a reason I cannot explain, because I think this was the best song off that History album, Earth Song.
702.
The newspapers.
Sfisa Zulu, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Bongani.
What is grabbing your attention in international news?
The planet is on track, Bongani, to record its second hottest year, this being 2025, after a historic high last year. And this is data from Europe's Global Warming Monitor, which reaffirms that global temperatures are on course to exceed 1.5 Celsius above pre-industrial levels. And this is a threshold that's considered safer in the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement. And scientists are saying saying these milestones are not abstract and they reflect the accelerating pace of climate change. And the only way to mitigate future rising temperatures is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
So in 2015, we said we can't exceed 1.5, which we now have.
Yes. And the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres actually warned in October that the world could not be able to contain the global warming below 1.5.
Gosh, and so beyond 1.5, we're in trouble.
We're in trouble. We're in
So
serious trouble. So we need
now.
to reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
Gosh, the Citizen's front page. Zuma's party hurt us. This is according to Cyril Ramaphosa telling the ANC. How a lawyer scammed home buyers is the lead story in the Sowetan. A Limpopo teacher saddled with 192,000 rand debt after paying a house he's never occupied. And the front page of the Business Day is all about how the energy minister is in the race for the ANC's top leadership.
EWN Business.
All right, Mateo, you want to know, can we live with house brands, no-name brands? What prompts the question?
Well, Bongani retailer Spar says it found it hard to sell the store's house brands as consumers go back to big-name brands. Spar relies on the sales of its no-name brands as they contribute 22% to total group sales. Last year, a private label turnover grew by 11% at Spar stores to 18 billion rand. But they're saying, look, people aren't picking up the no-name brands.
Unbelievable. I love the Spar no-name brands.
I know.
Spar products are good.
Consumers are feeling a bit cash flush now. They want to go for, well-known brands.
Hey, guys.
When inflation was high, I mean, house brands were
they've got like these fancy things that they do, and they label the Spar brand from jams and biltong.
No, they've really worked on the branding
if you want a
of
snacks
house brands.
platter, Spar's the way to go. No.
Oh, man, not a lot of consumers agree with you this time around, Bongani, but you've made your case for Spar. Now, a house brand, also called a store brand, private label, or no-name brand, is a product line owned and sold exclusively by a retailer rather than a third-party manufacturer. Now, these products are often made by the same factories as name brands, but carry the store's own name. So it doesn't mean it's got poor quality, it's just owned by that particular retailer you're shopping at that moment.
I defy you. Is it Broadacres? The one on William Nicol? I think it's Broadacres. I think.
The Spar there.
It's the best bar in the country. I defy you. Go buy any of their no-name brands and come and tell me they're not
swear
quality.
by it.
Right? Anyway, that's just me and maybe because of my pocket. What? Where's the rand?
Rand at this hour, 17.04 against the US dollar. So we're back on the other end against the US dollar.
Back on the no-name brand side.
Yeah, no, man. 19 Rand 84 against the euro and at 22 Rand 70 cents against the British pound. Price of gold this morning still good at $4,195 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,649. Brent crude at $62.44 a barrel. More business after 7.
Straight to the news desk we go. Sfisa Zulu, what you got?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The South African Weather Services says there is a 60% chance of thunderstorms over most parts of Gauteng today. Residents are urged to avoid being outdoors as the heavy rains are expected to come with excessive lightning. There's a warning for motorists who get trapped during floods to abandon their vehicles and seek higher ground. Forecaster Letohonolo Tobela.
Partly cloudy conditions will dominate across the province with a 60% chance of showers and thundershowers. Warm temperatures over most parts of Gauteng, but hot in some places in the northern parts, with a yellow level 2 warning of severe thunderstorms expected into the afternoon.
The Hawks have arrested 6 people for manufacturing drugs worth millions of rands at a secret lab in the northwest. The Hawks team received a tip-off about an alleged drug dealer wanted on a different case in the Western Cape, but the information led them to Tulwe in the northwest. Hawks spokesperson Katlego Mogale says the 6 suspects will appear in court soon on charges of manufacturing drugs.
Upon the Hawks' arrival, 6 suspects aged between 44 and 55 were found in the process of manufacturing of Mandrax. Large quantities of Mandrax finished product as well as powder were found on the scene. All 6 suspects were arrested. A drug press, a crusher machine, scales and packaging bags were also found.
A hiker and a mountain guide have saved a 27-year-old Austrian paraglider from plummeting down the slopes of Lion's Head in Cape Town. The man was taken to hospital after crashing yesterday. Wilderness Search and Rescue spokesperson David Nell says the hiker and the guide responded quickly to save the man's life.
They alerted the emergency services while carefully preventing the pilot from tumbling further down the steep slope. A small technical team on board the Western Cape Government Health and Wellness AMS rescue helicopter was deployed to the scene.
And a former Cuban finance minister has been sentenced to life in prison for espionage and economic crimes. The court has not revealed what Alejandro Gil, who served from 2018 to 2024 as minister, was alleged to have done, or what the country he was accused of spying for. The court says Gil violated work procedures related to the classified official information he handled, removed it, damaged it, and ultimately made it available to enemy services. In a separate trial, he got 20 years for bribery, influence peddling, and tax evasion. He was found guilty of continuous corruption offences as well as influence peddling and tax fraud. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 15 and 16 degrees, peaking at highs between 29 and 31.
And in the traffic, we've got delays leaving the Benoni area. Delays on the N12 West between Snake Road and Atlas Road. There's also queuing traffic along the N3 North between the Elands Interchange and the Gululis Interchange.
The top story this hour, the South African Weather Services says there's a 60% chance of thunderstorms over most parts of Gauteng today.
There's a new way to experience all your favorites. Pulse Africa, the 24/7 fast channel, now live on PrimeMediaPlus.com and the Prime Media Plus app, bringing you the best of Prime Media around the clock. Watch the biggest moments from 7:02. It's non-stop entertainment and authentic African storytelling, all from Africa's leading media network. Pulse Africa, only on the PrimeMediaPlus.com and Prime Media Plus app.
Zansi with only 6 numbers, just 6 numbers to match. Play Powerball for the life-changing 77 million rand estimated jackpot this Tuesday. You heard right. Powerball estimated 77 million rand jackpot today for your chance to become the next big multi-millionaire. Buy your tickets now in-store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda Pusha Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
The pain of losing a loved one is never easy. It will leave you feeling overwhelmed. At Clientele, we understand that burying loved ones with dignity truly matters. Our funeral plans pay out cash within just 24 hours, and you receive 200 Rand airtime when you claim to make those important calls. Plus, we cover up to 13 people on one plan. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Brush, stroke, paint, color, protect, and admire. From roof paint to exterior textures and interior silk, Warrior Paints has it all. The product range and stylish colors are amazing. And what's more, Warrior Paints has crushed prices for incredible savings. Enjoy that good old-fashioned personal service you deserve. For price, quality, variety, and service, Warrior Paints is streets ahead. Warrior Paints. Affordable, lasting luxury.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hey, Bongani, I'm on my way to work this morning. Bongani, we don't have an NPA. That's why Amutoso walked. That's why Zandile Gumede's case is about to collapse on Bongani. That is why IDEC has run rogue like they've done, chasing HR matters instead of serious crimes. We don't have an NPA, and I can tell you, criminals are realizing that if you're cleaning the police force, there is a last line of defense that is NPA, that is incompetent. How can it be? Thanks, Bongani.
Very good morning, Bongani. Bongani, look, man, for me, Shamela Batoi, really, she has been a disappointment. I thought that maybe she will really change that NPA and really make it a force to be reckoned with, but her conduct and the way she really represents in that department, it's really disappointing. For her to say that she didn't familiarize herself with the terms of reference and accusing somebody of really such a magnificent consequences are really. I don't know why was he appointed. Why do you involve yourself if you don't familiarize yourself with terms of reference? Moshe Repai.
Look, yeah, it's really difficult to explain. Do you remember how in that Hansi Cronje matter, this was a formidable, at least it appeared in those days, she went on to international prominence. And when she came back, it was almost seen as a bit of a sacrifice, as a bit of a step down, as a bit of country duty, a little bit of tumamina. And this is what we've got.
Hi, good morning, Bongani and the team. Sam from Soweto. I'm a little bit worried about this tavern shootings issues here. For an example, the police will come and confiscate alcohol now. So by tomorrow, you will see the tavern is open again. So some of those police, we see them, Bongani, they are drinking in those taverns. I mean, they are connected. They do have a connection. They do connect each and everything. As soon as the police come and take those alcohol, tomorrow or in the evening, they just brought it back. So you don't even understand what is happening. Especially I'm experiencing this in the likes of Protea Glen police station. That is where things are going wrong. Thanks, Sam from Joburg.
It's often about a shakedown, is it not, to close these places? We're talking, of course, about this awful story in Soulsville, in the capital, over the weekend, where assailants randomly shot patrons of a so-called tavern, and children who were there died. It's a makeshift establishment. It's illegal. It's not a legally registered establishment. Also a correction. I spoke to you earlier about, remember we've been asking the question, do you do what you do for passion or the pay? And it's as a result of African National Congress employees protesting outside the party's NGC meeting at the Birchwood Hotel in Boksburg yesterday. And I couldn't believe my eyes. The producers have referred me to a News 24 piece that say, in fact, these salaries have not been paid since August 2023. When I read that, I said, no, man, it must be 2025. My producers, no, sweetie. They are saying some of these employees, this thing has been stop and go, on and off. And some of them haven't had salaries paid dating back to August 2023. For 2025, they definitely say for August, October, and November, they haven't been paid. Is it a passion project then, do you think the party thinks? How do they want people to vote for them when they can't even pay their employees? Zhuang, imagine your salary not being paid since, or at least you are owed an amount from 2023. And there you are at work, being a good comrade. Yeah, ne?
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta out for the day. Welcome back, Anthony Teixeira. I'm not happy with you. I'm not talking to you. How dare your team, Aston Villa, beat Arsenal at the weekend?
It's totally fair. Totally fair. I'll take it. It was, what a goal.
Yeah.
I got chills everywhere when Buendia scored that goal.
Yeah.
And also to not see Arsenal have a great lead in the Premier League it's always a good Saturday.
So my son, who's a Chelsea supporter, has this running joke that they've beaten the world champions. They've beaten the European champions, they've beaten the South American champions, and the only reason Chelsea doesn't beat Arsenal is because they're not champions. It's awful. It's awful. All right, let's talk about the Premier League.
We will indeed, because Ruben Amorim's Man United bossed Wolves 4-1 in the Premier League, playing without an out-and-out striker. They created more with Mount, Mbeumo, as well as Fernandes Brace, giving them the goals. It's the run of 3 unbeaten games for the Red Devils, who are now up to 6th.
We are in the league that is really hard to win every week, and you can sense that by watching the table. So the next game is going to be completely different. So we need to know that. But in our club, it doesn't matter the run that you have, the moment if you played quite well the last game. What matters is the way we are going to play the next one. So let's focus on that.
Meanwhile, Arne Slot's says he doesn't know if Mo Salah has played a final game for Liverpool. The Egyptian forward hasn't travelled with the squad to play Inter in the UEFA Champions League this evening. This on the back of comments made by Salah over the weekend that it felt like someone wanted him out of the club.
It's hard for me to tell who he means in that situation. We've let him know that he's not travelling with us, so that was the only communication that's been there.
Turkish courts ordered the detention of 11 footballers from the country's first and second division over suspected illegal betting and match fixing. None of the accused of betting on their own team's matches. The crackdown began last week with around 40 people arrested as part of a wide-ranging investigation. While in cricket, we're less than 2 months out from the start of the T20 World Cup, with the Proteas only having 8 matches to prepare. The first of those will be against India today. Aidan Markram admits that the team are excited by the challenge of taking on the world champs in their own backyard.
It's the way the schedule goes nowadays, I guess. You wrap up a series, you move on to the next one quite quickly. So, we travelled yesterday, get here today, this evening, train and be as ready as we can be for tomorrow. So, exciting T20 series. Obviously, India's got their squad that they've had together now for a period of time, and that has done really well. And yeah, we'll bring some good challenges with that, but we're looking forward to that.
Play begins at 3:30, and in golf, the 2028 Open Championship will be moved in order to avoid clashing with the LA Olympic Golf Tournament. The oldest major traditionally takes place the 3rd week of July, but has been pushed back to the 1st week of August for the 156th edition. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Hi, my name is Latabo Ramoba. I am 13 years old. I go to Curio Academy Vilgehevel. When I grow up, I'd like to be a lawyer, and I'm extremely excited to play the Whiz Quiz today.
Letabo, we can't wait to play with you too. Will you walk away with 10,000 Rand?
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN.
14 to 7. This EWN traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on your car insurance if you don't ask them for 500 Rand. Why are there delays in the Benoni area, Amo?
Bongani, peak time delays at this moment, especially if you are leaving the area towards areas like Clement Park as well as the OR Tambo Airport. We've got about a 20-minute hold-up reported on the N12 West. This is between Snake Road and Atlas Road. While traveling on the N12 as well as the R24 West through Girulis, do you expect delays coming out of Edenville Road? At this point, it could take you about 20 minutes to leave the Germiston Edenville area towards Bedfordview. While traveling on the N1 South in the Midrand area, delays between Samrand Avenue and Olifantsfontein Road. More updates coming up. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like the lady on her way to work, listening to a love song on the radio. She's recreating the music video in her mind with herself as the leading lady. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a concert on the move. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
This festive season, receive the gift of instant payment when you sell to We Buy Cars. Simply complete the form on webuycars.co.za for your offer. Then visit your nearest pod or branch or have them come to you. Wishing for a new ride? Discover thousands of affordable vehicles online or at any We Buy Cars branch. We Buy Cars, the jolliest way to sell or buy.
Sana, he said that till slip is like the N1 highway. It's long. Thanks, Captain Obvious. I got it. It's why I got the new discount battery rewards card that gets me 10% off instantly on over 140 brands. And then, does he not tell me over 140 brands means thousands of products? Exactly. That's why your discount till slip never look better. Inshallah, son.
Naked people never skip leg day. Because naked people spend less time on insurance admin, they've got more time for lunges and Romanian deadlifts. With Naked, you can cover your car, home, and stuff in seconds. And it's all online, so that means no long phone calls. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and start working out. Like naked people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Who is the whizziest of them all.
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
All right, remember, you've only got this week to win this 10,000 Rand because, of course, the school holidays means we will not be having the Whiz Quiz from next week until next year. So today is, your fourth last chance to walk away with 10,000 Rand. Litabo, today's contestant, 13 years old, goes to Cura Academy in Wilgehevel. Are you ready to play, Litabo?
Yes.
Yes, you are. Take a deep breath. Breathe in. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And now you can breathe out. I think you're good to go, hey?
Yes.
Yes, you are. KG, start the clock. Which city is home to the OR International Airport?
Johannesburg.
Correct. Which continent has two countries named Congo?
Africa.
Correct. Spell the word radio.
ADIO.
Correct. In which world city is the American president's official home?
Washington, D.C.
Correct. What is half of 70?
35.
Correct. Polokwane is the capital of which South African province?
Please repeat.
Polokwane is the capital of which South African province?
Limpopo.
Correct. In which sport does Desiree Ellis coach a national team?
Cricket.
Soccer. True or false? Fish breathe through respiratory organs called gills.
True.
Correct. Ooh, the only one that tripped you there was the Desiree Ellis question. She is, of course, the coach of Banyana, which means she coaches in the sport of football. Soccer, you could even call it. But a very good round there, Litabo. You walk away with 700 Rand.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question from Outsurance? 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. Firstly, you send us an answer based on anything you heard on the show that piqued your interest, and for that you win 1,000 Rand. WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. Later, someone else will ask a question to win 2,000 Rand. Now, you always stand a better chance of being selected if you've SMS'd out to Outsurance to get a quote. So do it now. SMS out to 45142 and you could save on your car insurance.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions,
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
It's now exactly 8 minutes before 7 o'clock. Measured and found wanting. The inquiry into the fitness of Johannesburg's prosecution's boss, Advocate Andrew Chauke, has taken a sharp and I might say unexpected turn. Remember, as National Director of Public Prosecutions, it was Advocate Shamila Batoy who wrote to the President raising doubts about the Joburg prosecution's boss. That is why 2 years later, the President then set up the process. So yesterday, under cross-examination, Batoy faced some tough questions about her accusations against her junior. Let's say her memory perhaps is not quite what it once was. We're joined to unpack the legal stakes of all of this by the Managing Director at Donda Attorneys, Melusi Xulu. A very good morning to you and thank you for your time on 702 Breakfast.
Good morning, Bongani, and to the listeners at home. Thank you for having me.
As a legal eagle, no doubt you would have watched some of the proceedings yesterday. I would suspect with some concern because yesterday it became very clear why earlier in this process the National Director tried to say she was not expected to face cross-examination.
Bongani, it became very clear because when there's cross-examination, obviously the person who's representing the person who's charged will try to show that the evidence that you've brought up when you're leading evidence is not properly, constructed, or there are issues, and they'll try to poke and find loopholes. So that's what happened yesterday, and now it's clear why she didn't want to be cross-examined.
What's extraordinary to me, you lay a complaint, the President then acts on it, however delayed that action was, but he acts on it. And this process is then, it gets underway. There's a government gazette that would have released the terms of reference. She hadn't familiarized herself with those. How do you explain it?
I've got a theory that I do not really think she wanted to lodge the complaint. I think there are people behind there who pushed it, and that is why she was not prepared. Because when it comes to terms of reference, that is what gives you a guideline what we are doing when it comes to the Gabinda inquiry on the fitness of Advocate Chauke. So you can't tell me that you did not read the terms of reference, because that is what will help you to prepare. When even the commissioner asked her and said, Advocate Batoki, when you were preparing your bundle of documents for this commission, they were obviously being prepared in line with the terms of reference. And she said, in fact, all the three commissioners asked her, including chairperson, and she said at the end, no, I was just preparing affidavit. I was not preparing it in line with the terms of reference. That was shocking for me. It showed a level of unpreparedness, and there's more that is expected from her as the NDPP. So that was worrying.
Look, we can speculate about whether she was pushed into this process or not, but even if you get into the substance of what was put before her, and that goes back now to the earlier decisions, she repeatedly conceded there were no documents supporting some of her key accusations or even some of the decisions she has taken prior to all of this.
Yes, when we are preparing for such an inquiry, Bongani, all the documents that you need must be easily obtained. For example, there's a document that I think she sent to the president, and when she was asked about it, the team that was there, they said no, they'll get it later. And that's worrying, because that is what you're basing your case on. Have it in your bundle of documents as one of the annexures. So it shows that, and I'm repeating that she was not prepared for this. And as an NDPP, she should be taking responsibility on what is happening. So that is worrying for me.
Here's my difficulty. It's not just about this inquiry. It's about decisions, for example, she took to withdraw charges, right? And she was being asked about some of the allegations, or at least the charges she had made against certain individuals, and some of the decisions she took to get to those. And she couldn't support those with documentary evidence. So, yes, apart from the poor performance yesterday, that notwithstanding, there's a pattern here that was exposed, if you will, through the cross-examination.
Yes, for example, I think when she had to make a comment on the Boyson case, the one in Kettleman and KZN,
correct,
there was a point where she said she did not study the docket, but she was able to make conclusions on that without studying the docket. So it shows that the way she works, she does not pay attention to details. She even supported her way of working by saying, for example, there's case law that says she does not have to read all the dockets. Okay, fine, you don't have to read all the dockets, but once a matter is in front of you, once you have to deal with the matter, you have to work on it. You have to deal with the details so that at least we are informed better. Because when she was cross-examined, she said she'll have to think about it. When you're being cross-examined, you're not given time to think. You have to answer right there and there. So I don't know, Bongani. I really think, well, obviously she's retiring in January. We are getting a new NDPP, but I hope the new NDPP will be better informed and not be as uninformed as Advocate Batohi, respectfully, Bongani.
Here's the difficulty. Public trust is already fragile. What will this display do in terms of public confidence in the NPA when its leader made the kinds of concessions she made yesterday, contradictions at times where she would say she doesn't remember, or the answer would be no? What does that tell us about some of the cases the NPA has lost? And yes, I know she's not always directly involved in those, but it certainly paints a particular picture.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. There's a certain public opinion that will be formed, but I think the solution lies in the vision of the NPA. Fortunately, some few years back, I was able to be aware of how they work because I was a prosecutor myself. So I know that their vision is centered around justice in the society, and they are aiming to create an environment where people can live freely and securely, which means if they focus on their vision and they make sure that every prosecutor understands what they stand for, I believe they can be able to improve from where they are.
Yeah. Perhaps one victory, Malusi, as we leave this conversation, out of all these processes, I'm not just talking about this one now, but all the others, perhaps it's the continuing display of excellence of some of our sharpest legal minds, eh?
Oh, yes. Especially from last week, you sometimes you don't choose your cases, but, it's good to see that when you are consistent in making sure that you provide excellent services, it will always show, and that's what we saw yesterday.
Melusi, we'll appreciate your time, Managing Director at Donda Attorneys.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, Bongani, speaking of Outsurance, appointsmen are on duty in Calvin at Old Pretoria Road and North Way, as well as in Sunning Hill at Rivonia Road and Witkoppen Road, because the traffic lights are out of order there and they're managing traffic. So please be on the lookout there. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like the man who's flown 12 hours to surprise his family for the holidays. Will they recognize him without the beard? The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's a family reunion on the move. Happy holidays to every story on the road. You're the reason the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005. In proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
A brazen attack, 12 lives lost, including 3 children, at an illegal tavern at the weekend. The same place was targeted months ago. What on earth is going on? We'll have that interview after this Eyewitness News, brought to you by Momentum, financial advisors who help you have a better shot at generational wealth. Speak to a Momentum accredited financial advisor. Momentum is part of the Momentum Group Limited, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
This is EWN.
Gauteng police insist they are dealing with illegal liquor outlets in the wake of a mass shooting at a tavern, and unpaid ANC workers don't feel appreciated by the party. Good morning, I'm Fiso Zulu. Police say they've shut down 101 taverns operating without licenses in Atteridgeville over the past 7 months. This information was released after a mass shooting at an illegal establishment in Soulsville on Saturday, where 12 people, including 3 children, were killed. 3 men stormed the tavern in the early hours and shot at 25 people. National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola has dismissed claims that law enforcement is failing to tackle illegal liquor outlets.
Since April, we have shut down 101 illegal liquor outlets. You can call them shebeens. 11 of those were closed down in the last 4 weeks, and our members are intensifying operation. As you are aware, we are in Operation Festive Season already.
Meanwhile, Masemola has confirmed that a case against the tavern owner has been opened. Alfara Mushwana has more from Pretoria.
The woman who owned the tavern at the W2 Soulsville hostel was also shot but survived and remains in hospital. Her living room was converted into a tavern using cardboard to separate it from the bedroom. It's understood the shooters stormed the tavern, opened fire on the patrons, and then went straight to the bedroom, where they also shot children aged 3, 12, and 16. National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola says their mother, who owned the tavern, must also account.
We have also charged the owner of the room where this shebeen, he was hosting everyone at this shebeen. We have charged him. We have charged her, and she is, of course, in hospital as we speak.
Meanwhile, Masemola says the shooters are still at large, but police now know who they are. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News in Soulsville.
National Prosecutions boss Shamila Batoyi has told the inquiry investigating Johannesburg prosecution's head Andrew Chauke that some of the charges against him are incorrect. Batoyi has been cross-examined by Chauke's lawyers at the inquiry into his fitness to hold office. She laid a complaint against Chauke with President Cyril Ramaphosa, which prompted his suspension and the establishment of the inquiry. But Batoyi claims she is not the main complainant, but the president is. Khomotso Modise has more.
Despite writing to President Cyril Ramaphosa complaining about Johannesburg prosecution's boss, Advocate Andrew Chauke, Advocate Shamila Batohi has distanced herself from the president's terms of reference, saying what was in her draft memorandum is not necessarily the terms currently before the inquiry. Chauke's lawyer, Advocate Tembeka Ngcukaitobi, has taken Batohi through some of the charges against him.
He sought to improperly have the acting sign the case dockets and or sign the prosecuting memo. If you read it like that, it's incorrect. That is not what we're saying.
So charge 3.1.1.1 is a wrong charge.
It's incorrect.
Well, incorrect and being wrong are the same thing.
Chauke's lawyers have asked for Batohi's draft, which she submitted to the president, to compare it to the current terms of reference. They say this will help establish if it was Batohi who got the charges wrong or the president. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
Aggrieved ANC staffers say they are being taken for granted by the party as they continue to work without pay. In addition to the late and sometimes non-payment of salaries, some ANC employees say the organisation is not making contributions to their medical aid and provident funds. Yesterday, a small group of ANC staffers held a picket outside the Birchwood Hotel in Boksburg, where the party is holding its first day of the National General Council. Tabiso Goba reports.
In his opening speech yesterday, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa urged the party's members to be humble and not publicly show off their wealth, while a majority of South Africans continue to suffer. Those words hit closer to home as ANC staffers picketing near the entrance of the Birchwood Hotel saw luxury car after luxury car drive past them. While the picket had about 20 staffers participating, EWN spoke to several of the party's employees who were working at the NGC despite not being paid. Speaking on behalf of the unpaid workers, Dan Semenya says this is a recurring problem.
I think now we are almost into up to 6 months now that our provident fund has not been paid. Issues that relates to medical aid also. For the last month of November, we have been experiences issues where members will go to hospitals or a doctor. Only when they arrive there, they'll be told that medical aid has been suspended.
ANC national spokesperson Mahlengi Bengu says while there has been issues of late payments of salaries, the party has not defaulted on its medical aid and provident fund contributions for its staff. Tabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
And Benin's military is searching for fugitive soldiers behind a foiled coup attempt that left several dead. At least a dozen plotters had been arrested, and by yesterday, all hostages, including high-ranking officers, had been released. A group of soldiers went on state television on Sunday to announce that they had ousted the president, but President Patrice Talon later made his own TV appearance, assuring the country that the situation was completely under control. Talon is due to hand over the reins of power in April after the maximum allowed 2 terms, leading Benin, which in recent years has been hit by jihadist violence in the north. Gold is trading at $4,185.86 an ounce. The rand is at 17.04 to the dollar, 22.71 to the pound, 19.84 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $62.41 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N4 West between Tamboti Avenue and the Proof Plus interchange while traveling. On the R80 East Mabopane Highway, delays between the Hairpin Bend and Eskiampahlele Drive.
And in your sport, Arne Slot isn't too sure where Salah's comments came from, believing they had a good relationship. Proteas welcome back David Miller and Andrik Nokia for the T20 series against India, and the South Africans started the Africa Netball Cup with wins.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with thunderstorms expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 29 and 31 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, police say they've shut down 101 taverns operating without licenses in Atteridgeville over the past 7 months.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
They say the early bird catches the worm. Great advice, unless you're the worm. Generic so-called wisdom doesn't work for everyone, so I settle for a financial plan that's one size fits some. Momentum accredited financial advisors take the time to get to really know your unique situation. Advice meets your context. Momentum, your journey to success. Momentum is part of Momentum Group Limited, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
9 minutes after 7 o'clock. So 101 taverns closed in one township in Tshwane. This is Attridgeville in the past 7 months. But how many of those, I wonder, were reopened just as quickly as they had been shut down? And pointedly, what happened to all the liquor that presumably would have been confiscated, right? What do you think happened to it? Do you think it was broken, the bottles were broken, and it was, I don't know, spilled in the felt? Or for a little bit of, I always get this word wrong, Jojo, right? It's Jojo, not
yes,
Juju.
not Juju.
Jojo. For a little bit of Jojo, it went back to where it had been taken from. If you're frustrated about political events unfolding in South Africa, let me remind you what you could be a part of in the US. President Donald Trump last week actually, you'll remember the US has been targeting these boats in the Caribbean Sea, and there have been some questions now being raised about whether or not the American government can participate in extrajudicial extrajudicial killings, right? Because people are being killed essentially without any due process. So last week, there were questions about whether the US government would release any videos that show exactly what had happened in one such attack. Have a listen to the US President Donald Trump's response.
You released video of that first boat strike on September 2nd, but not the second video. Will you release video of that strike so that the American people can see for themselves what happened?
I don't know what they have, but whatever they have, we'd certainly release, no problem.
He didn't have a problem. He would release that footage, as you heard there, the US President Donald Trump. He was asked if he would release a video of that strike so that the American people would see for themselves what had happened. Well, yesterday he was asked by a reporter from ABC News about exactly that commitment. And before she could proceed, here's what else then he had to say.
Mr. President, you said you would have no problem with releasing the full video of that strike on September 2nd off the coast of Venezuela. Secretary Hegseth now says...
You said that. I didn't say that. This is ABC fake news.
You said that you would have no problem releasing the full bit. Okay, well, Secretary Hegseth...
No, whatever Hegseth wants to do is okay with me.
He now says it's under review. Are you ordering the Secretary to release that full video?
Whatever he decides is okay with me. So every boat we knock out of the water, every boat, we save 25,000 American lives. That was a boat loaded up with drugs. I saw the video. Let me just tell you, you are an obnoxious, a terrible reporter. And it's always the same thing with you.
So, KG, I want you to play again what he did say days before, right? Because he did say it. He said he would release the video. There you go.
You released video of that first boat strike on September 2nd, but not the second video. Will you release video of that strike so that the American people can see for themselves what happened?
I don't know what they have, but whatever they have, we'd certainly release. No problem.
And then when he's asked yesterday, he's like, you're an obnoxious reporter. I didn't say that. Now, if you're thinking about what the American president is saying, let's listen to our president. Cyril Ramaphosa, of course, in his capacity as president of the ANC at the party's National General Council meeting in Boksburg yesterday, said something that I think is worth thinking and speaking about. The practice of outsourcing simple functions within government must come to an end. I bet you there probably is somebody who's got a tender for paper clips. Right? Paper clips. I'm sure they can't even... Have a listen.
We need to get rid of outsourcing of simple and straightforward functions in our government system. Outsourcing opens the door to corruption, with many cases of tender manipulation, bribery, overpricing, and the use of front companies. It also makes those who work for those entities that we outsource to be vulnerable.
The president there saying the end of outsourcing for simple functions, and there's sort of muted clapping in the room. You know, you can kind of see that, oh, this is a nice sound bite. So they're kind of clapping. And then perhaps I'm being unfair in thinking that some of them started clapping and thought, Wait a minute.
I didn't hear that
Are those
properly.
the tenders? Am I capping for my tenders to go? 'Cause
away.
I'm sure they even outsource silly things like paper clips.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Things you need to know at this hour. Elon Musk is not only furious with us, but the European Union has just fined X, his platform formerly known as Twitter, $140 million for failing to meet transparency rules in the EU. Regulators say X uses a deceptive blue check system and it lacks clarity in its advertising and it restricts researcher access to public data. Let's talk about that coup we told you about yesterday. A small group of soldiers in Benin attempted a coup on the 7th of December. That was 2 days ago on Sunday. And they briefly seized state television, claiming to have dissolved the government. But loyal forces, at least forces loyal to the president, President Patrice Talon, quickly stopped that mutiny. So that little putsch has been stopped as it was unfolding. The Americans also announcing a new national security strategy, and it shifts power from an America, or at least to an America first approach, and they're prioritizing the Western Hemisphere. And the strategy is heavily weighted against Europe, including what some are calling an end to the transatlantic alliance. And Nkosana Makate, please call me. Well, the High Court has dismissed BlackRock's urgent bid to freeze 40% of that payout. So for now, it means he can keep his money.
702. Up next,
The big interview.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 451442 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand.
Well, Bongani, we've got peak time delays on most routes like the November 1 North between the N17 turnoff and Albertina Sisulu Road, as well as on the Mike 1 North between Boysons Road and Empire Road. At this particular point, it could take you about 20 minutes to head towards the Joburg CBD. And if you're traveling on the N3 North towards Bedford View, do expect heavy traffic volumes between the Yelans interchange and the Kilulis turnoff. More updates coming up. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The roads just aren't the same without the Outsurance pointsman, like the family reunion without the uncle who makes everyone laugh with his dad jokes. But even the Outsurance pointsman needs some time off, so they're going to be on leave from the 12th of December. Back on the roads, easing the New Year traffic congestion from 9 January 2026. The Outsurance pointsman getting you there quickly and safely for the past 20 years. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love online using #PointsmanLove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702.
The big interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
17 after 7 is a story you really never want to hear about, right? In the early hours of a Saturday morning in Atteridgeville, a hostel tavern was turned into a killing ground. Just after 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 gunmen walked into the establishment, opened fire randomly on patrons, and moved into the back rooms. And inside one of those, 3 children, aged 12, 3, and 16, were asleep. The shooters pointed guns directly at them and left all 3 of them dead. In total, 25 people were shot, 12 died, 13 are fighting for their lives at Galafong Hospital. The tavern owner survived her gunshot wounds, but her children did not. And it's understood this wasn't the first attack on this illegal shebeen, the last being just a mere 3 months ago. We also understand that police say they've shut down nearly 12,000 unlicensed outlets between April and September this year. But what do those closures mean if nothing changes? Firstly, let's speak to Hannes Kutsia, who is from the city of Tshwane, the MMC there for community safety, who was in Soulsville yesterday. Hannes, a very good morning to you, and thank you for your time.
Good morning, Bongani, and all your listeners. It's an honor to be on your station.
Just give us a sense, Hannes, of what you saw inside that establishment. What struck you the most?
Bongani, I was on my way to Ekurhuleni, and around about 9:30, I received a phone call of the shooting that has taken place, and I immediately had to turn around and go to Soulsville. When I got there, the police had already cordoned off the whole place, the forensic, the pathology, everybody was there. There were certain areas where we were not allowed to go in due to the investigation that is taking place because it has become a crime scene. But from the city of Tshwane side, we condemn any kind of violence. Doesn't matter what it is, not just specifically because it's the 16 days of activism. We take 365 days very, very serious
Sure.
with any kind of shooting. So we condemn any kind of violence within the community.
Hannes, that stands to reason. Hold on. Just give me a sense of what you saw in the tavern. Describe for our listeners who may not have seen any footage of it, what the place looks like. Because as I understand, it wasn't just a drinking establishment, but it also doubled as a family home. Just give us a description of that.
Basically, if you look at the building from outside, it's a very old building. Still some of those with the old roofs that you're not allowed to have on. It's a very old establishment. On the inside, the moment that we got time to go into a certain point, there's long grass and everything inside. So it's not that this place was really cleaned up on the inside. And I think this is one of the things because it's a very easy hiding place. It's a hostel built in like a square form. And if you get trapped inside, it's not really, there's no gate where you are controlled, where it's just the specific owners that can enter the place. So anybody can come in there. And this is one of those random shootings that we condemn completely. So if you look at the place from outside, it looks good. But from the inside, I don't think it's a habitable place to stay.
Police say they've shut down 101 taverns in the area, in Atteridgeville specifically, over the last 7 months. But one suspects that they reopen almost as quickly as they're shut down.
That is one of the problems because what we have done, even in the CBD, we started a thing which we call IBEC. This is a interdepartmental by law enforcement committee where we signed a document with the National Police Commissioner as well as Provincial Commissioner to basically to bring more forces together, because if you just run around and close down and tomorrow they reopen again because they go to court, they get arrested, and then they pay a fine and then 2 days later they're out in the field again. This is why we have put this by law enforcement committee together to have much more law enforcement on the ground. We brought SARS and Home Affairs, everybody else on board. And it is a continuation of a fight that we're having to look at the authenticity of the liquor licenses, and it is a challenge. We've even decided that maybe the liquor board can assist the city of Tshwane by taking 10 of our members and train them so that when we go out and the SAPS is not available, we can still identify that this document is a real, true document. But even the president, when there was a shutdown in the country, we have given people an opportunity to register the spazas, and you'll be shocked if you see that in Gauteng only around about 5,000 was registered.
Look, isn't there, though, some truth to what many residents point to, which is corruption? So officers turning a blind eye, demanding protection fees. Everybody knows where these places are. Otherwise, what's the point? Who'd be buying? The police certainly know where they are, and yet they continue to thrive.
What we're doing in the city of Tshwane since we took over government in October last year, Bongani, we made sure that we have a zero tolerance when it comes to corruption. I must say, in all honesty, even in the TMPD, we started cleaning up house. We've got about 146 cases where people are charged, where consequence management will be taken. We started with a security cluster where even on the top management, we go through a security and vetting cleaning process. We're even doing lifestyle audits to make sure that the house is clean. I think in the past there was no proper bylaw enforcement done, and the more you go, even if you look at those cases that we had to close those brothels in the CBD of Tshwane, you find horrific stuff when you go into the building. From outside it just looks like a normal shop, but the moment you go inside you get all these trap doors. Once you go through the trap door, you get a building with about 60 rooms. Foreigners are using the ladies, which I am totally against, for prostitution. Right. We get all this kind of stuff, and it's actually horrific if you see. And this is my concern, that it never happened in the past. But that's why I say we have zero tolerance when it comes to this. And we are taking hands with all stakeholders, CPF structures, SARS, Home Affairs, everybody that comes on board to try and curb this problem.
Hannes, thank you so much for your time. The City of Tshwane is MMC for community safety. Yes, they're doing what they can, but is it enough? Listening to all of that is Nomcebo Dlamini, who is from the Southern African Alcohol Policy Alliance. And Nomcebo is the SAPA SA Campaign Director and joins us now on the line. Nomcebo, thank you for your time this morning. Welcome to our program, firstly.
Thank you very much, Bongani. And we just want to first extend our deepest condolences to the families who have lost loved ones, especially the children that have just now been caught in this mess that has just happened in Soulsville, which I definitely do call a mess because I think we cannot call it anything else.
I mean, children executed in their sleep. There's no doubt, there is no doubt these gunmen would have at least been able to identify the 3-year-old as a toddler.
Yeah.
But
it also speaks...
What does that tell us about the society? I mean,
yeah,
quite apart from children being asleep with, liquor being sold in the early hours of a weekend morning, to execute a 3-year-old?
It's shocking, and I think I'm just catching you as you're speaking because the shock is what we are also experiencing, and we continue just to not be able to put our heads around this, to say, what have we become as a society? Have we normalized these things to the point where we have come to a place where we are actually executing children? And it does not make sense. But the other thing, Bongani, is these illicit taverns, they seem to just be getting totally out of hand. And we need to help. And I'm glad that MMC Kotse is saying that they're bringing together the interdepartments in the city. But we as a community as well, we need to also rise up and also be able to get on the bandwagon to deal with this problem.
Look, I mentioned to the MMC the demand for protection fees, the fact that if community members know where they are, certainly the police ought to know where they are, and yet these taverns continue to operate. Police say they've closed something like 12,000 nationwide since April, and of course, as soon as you close them, they reopen again. Often liquor is confiscated, but then it pops up again. Yes, the community needs to speak, but quite frankly, this is a law enforcement problem.
It definitely is a law enforcement problem. And we need to also just make our police stations be aware that just this morning I was made aware that in Shawela, they keep on reporting that these illicit taverns are
they
operating
know.
even
That's
outside
what I'm saying.
of the
They know. So
yes,
what must we do to tell them what they already know,
we
that they're
must
not doing
rise
anything
up.
about it?
What we are saying as SAPA, Bongani, is through the True Cost of Alcohol campaign that we are currently running, communities must rise up. We must make the noise, because it seems like for as long as we are quiet, not banding together and not coming together and speaking out and saying that we will not allow this, they know where the establishments are. They know what the law says. And then it keeps on happening. So how do we stop it? We stop it by rising up as communities and making a lot of noise about it, as you are doing right now in the station. And let's see what happens.
But Nomcebo, that assumes that, these establishments, whether you and I like it or not, they are popular. People like the idea that there are no rules that are enforced. People go and buy liquor, in the dead of night, in the early hours of the morning. We see this in rural areas. We see this in informal settlements. We see this in townships. And of course, because, we're expecting the customers to go and report.
I would say what we need to do is go to enforcing the zoning laws that are preventing outlets near homes, schools, transport routes. That we know. But other people may not necessarily be aware that there should not be these establishments, even the licensed ones. They should not be in these places. We need to also review the licenses annually, because it starts with the legal ones, the ones that are licensed, when they start to operate outside of the legislation. And then the ones that then come and are illicit, then just join that. So we need to ensure that there's a review of the licenses and revoke those that repeatedly offend. Because it's those that we know that they repeatedly offend, the ones that we're talking about, that MMC courts was saying, they go and grab the alcohol, it goes back, you keep going back and forth. Why is it that we are not revoking those licenses? And then we've got the interdepartmental coordination that I'm quite glad to hear is happening, because it is absolutely necessary that we have all the different sectors of government working together and stop the silo work, that they go as one department. I'm glad that he's also talking about the Gauteng Liquor Board. Let the Gauteng Liquor Board come on board and let them teach. If there's training that is necessary, then the police need to be trained. And also maybe the communities as well, so that we also know what is it that is allowable and what is not allowable. And that is what the true cost of alcohol continuously is saying. Communities, let us take our power back. Let us realize that we do have something that we can do as communities.
Gotcha. I mean, appreciate your time. South African Alcohol Policy Alliance. I just want to perhaps say one thing. Yes, the cops look away. Yes, there's corruption and they take bribes. And perhaps you don't expect an assassin to have a conscience. Right? But when a gun is pointed at a sleeping 3-year-old and is fired nonetheless, mercilessly, at a sleeping 3-year-old, and those are the places we support and we buy from, because hauna mthetho, hauna mlao, it's okay. Questions have to be asked about who we are as a society.
EWN Business.
Mateo Haripek, give us a business update, a lifeline for SA smelters. We've been talking, of course, about the ferrochrome smelters and Eskom saying, hang on, not yet.
No, not yet. Eskom has agreed to enter into talks for a new electricity tariff that will see smelters in South Africa reopen on a limited basis and potentially save more than 3,000 jobs. A CEO of the state-owned power utility, Dan Marokane, says they signed a memorandum of understanding with the Glencore Merafe Chrome venture as well as Samanco Chrome. Now, the talks followed the initiation by Samanco Chrome and the Glencore Merafe Chrome venture of a Section 189 retrenchment process that could affect close to 5,000 workers. Constructive meetings were held on Friday last week that included Energy and Electricity Minister Josienzo Ramogopa. Now, the MOU creates a structured process to find a sustainable and responsible solution that maintains industrial capacity while also protecting broader electricity consumers for Eskom. Ferrochrome smelters have struggled with their power-intensive operations as Eskom raised tariffs by high double digits. Since 2008, electricity tariffs in South Africa have surged by 900%, and some companies simply cannot afford that.
900%.
Yeah.
In 13 years. Tells you everything you need to know. Is the rand?
Rand at this hour 17.04 against the US dollar, 19 rand 84 against the euro, and 22 rand 70 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,186 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,647. Brent crude now at $62.36 a barrel. More business after 8.
Let's go straight to the news desk. Good morning again, Sfisa Zulu.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. ANC leaders have blamed the party's electoral decline to corruption within its ranks, state capture and poor standard of its membership. Yesterday marked the first day of the ANC's 5th National General Council, which is being held at the Birchwood Hotel in Boksburg. The NGC is a midterm review of the ANC's progress in implementing the resolutions adopted at its 55th elective conference in 2022. While delivering the midterm review report, ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula says recent election results clearly show that the party is slowly losing public faith.
Against this backdrop, the ANC
has articulated a renewal mission structured around two interlinked objectives. The first is to reroute the ANC among the people as their servant, with ethical and capable cadres working alongside communities to address their daily struggles. The second is to harness the natural and human endowments of South Africa.
With the local government elections coming up soon, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa says the party needs to get closer to the people.
In the last election, comrades, if we are to be honest with each other, our door-to-door culture was not at its best. We did not do vigorous door-to-door. And as a result, on election day, that's why we saw so many people staying away from the polls. And in part, it was largely because they had never been touched by the ANC visiting their homes, visiting the various locales that they go to.
The Hawks have arrested 6 people for manufacturing drugs worth millions of rands at a secret lab in the Northwest. The Hawks team received a tip-off about an alleged drug dealer who was wanted on a different case in the Western Cape. The information led them to Tulwe in the Northwest. Hawks spokesperson Katlego Mogale says the 6 suspects will appear in court soon on charges of manufacturing drugs.
Upon the Hawks' arrival, 6 suspects aged between 44 and 55 were found in the process of manufacturing of Mandrax. Large quantities of Mandrax finished product as well as powder were found on the scene. All 6 suspects were arrested. A drug press, a crusher machine, scales and packaging bags were also found.
The NPA says it has not opposed bail for 5 suspects accused of luring South Africans to fight in Russia because there's no indication yet that the group might flee the country. The suspects appeared in court yesterday and their case has been postponed to February next year. Alleged recruiters, SABC broadcaster Nonkululeko Mantula received 30,000 rand bail, while Xolani Ntuli was granted 15,000 rand bail. The recruits aged between 21 and 24 were set to join Russian forces in contravention of the Foreign Military Assistance Act. NPA spokesperson Pindi Mahanjane.
Well, at this point, we don't have information that they might flee and evade their trial. Hence, we did not oppose their bail application. However, we requested the court to set conditions such as that the passport for accused number 1, whom we are alleging she's the main recruiter, must remain with the state.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 15 and 16 degrees, peaking at highs between 29 and 31.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North between the Soweto Highway and Albertina Sisulu Road. An accident has been reported between these 2 points, causing those delays, while travelling on the M1 South. Delays between the Baklu Interchange and Marlborough Drive.
The top story this hour, ANC leaders have blamed the party's electoral decline to corruption within its ranks, state capture and the poor standards of its membership.
Sure, your phone's from there. Your kids' toys? Definitely. But your SUV? No thanks. The Mini Countryman from 9,899 Rand per month with Mini Select Finance. Visit mini.co.za to book your test drive. Select offer only available from Mini Financial Services, a division of BMW Financial Services South Africa Pty Limited, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider. Offer exclusively applies to the Mini Countryman. Initiation and service fee apply. Offer linked to the current prime rate, calculated on a 10% deposit, 48 monthly installments, final GFV payment, and 80,000 kilometer contract limit. Changes to the deal and optional extras will impact finance offer. Offer valid until 31 December, subject to stock availability. T's and C's apply.
Mzansi with only 6 numbers to match. Play Powerball for the life-changing 77 million Rand estimated jackpot this Tuesday. Yeah, that's right. Today, play Powerball for an estimated 77 million Rand jackpot for your chance to become the next big multi-millionaire. Buy your tickets now in-store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. Panda Pusha Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
FlySafair is flying into summer, and so should you, with 175 daily flights to 15 sun-soaked destinations. Early bird, midday meanderer, or night owl. Whatever your travel style is, with more flights, more often to more places, you can start your holiday whenever it suits you. From seaside chills to mountain thrills, it's time to pick your favorite holiday hotspot and go. Book now at FlySafair.co.za. FlySafair, for the love of flying. T's and C's apply.
702
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongani. About these taverns that are opening till the morning of the breakfast, the next day, Cabo 6 or 7 in the morning. There are actually quite a lot in the township where they even block some houses' gates, or they park where they're not supposed to park. And I once asked a friend of mine about, what about these taverns that are actually opening up until almost 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning? And this guy is a police guy. He said, it is a new norm. Unfortunately, there's nothing that I can do. And unfortunately, I have to speak with the owner of the tavern about people that are disturbing our gates in the houses. Yeah, unfortunately, that's what they say. It's a new norm, and there's nothing that we can do. Good morning.
Good morning, Bongani. We in our society now, I think where we benefit, we agree with the nonsense that we see, the corruption that we see, and when you do the right thing, you become the problem. That's how twisted our society has become. And it's very, very sad for especially our future leaders, our children. Our children are living in a place where we as adults are taking make bad choices, bad decisions, and they are the ones suffering. That is where we find ourselves as a South African society at this point, and it's a shame.
I don't know if it's a new normal. I don't know. I'm struggling to be convinced by that idea. We even have, as Paul said, they call it potsoi, right? Potsoi. In the village, you'll get a mud hut called a tavern. A shack. This was in a hostel, but it's a section of the hostel that is meant to be, it's not really even a home. It's a glorified, think of what a bachelor apartment would look like, right? So everything is there, the sleeping quarters, the kitchen, everything is all one big room, perhaps with a separate bathroom. I mean, I don't know if there was a bathroom in this one or if it was communal. And as a result, the division to where the bedroom area would have been, away from where the people were drinking, was just a wooden structure, right? That's what divided the room. I'm still wrapping my head around the gunman who decided to shoot a 3-year-old who was asleep. The nature of what they do means, of course, they don't have a conscience, but come on, man. And these establishments thrive because people go to them. People go to them. They're not a balloon shop, right? Can't open a 24-hour shop that sells balloons. Who's going to come at 4 o'clock in the morning to come and buy your balloons? Supply and demand. Yeah, the cops look away. Yeah, there's corruption. What about us as a society? Hey? Who are the customers?
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance, a chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Lufuno. Lufuno, please tell us today's answer.
Good morning, Bongani. The answer today is the UK.
Ooh, you're a tricky customer there, Lufuno. The UK is the answer. Tell me, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, I have SMS.
Your biscuit, 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance. There you have it. Lufuno's answer is the UK. What could the question be? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
A perennial argument in sport, Anthony Teixeira, is who's the real boss? Is it the coach or is it the star player? And if you're a Liverpool fan, it's really one you don't want to have to deal with.
No. Also,
right?
Listening to Honest Lot's conversation yesterday with the press was very much a sentiment of who makes the decisions there at Liverpool. Is he still in charge the same way that Klopp was, or are there other people that are making decisions?
So for anybody who's missed that story, give us the context. What happened?
Well, basically what happened, Mohamed Salah, after their 3-3 draw, went to a press conference, gave an answer that I think none of us were expecting, which is that he feels like he's being forced out of Liverpool and that he has had a breakdown in his relationship with Arne Slot. And since then, it's been a major fallout with the media going after him. And Slot also in his press conference sharing that he hasn't spoken to Salah over the matter and that the only thing he has mentioned is that he wasn't travelling with the Liverpool squad for this evening's UEFA Champions League clash against Inter Milan. The Dutch coach said he was blindsided by the comments.
I haven't felt that at all till Saturday evening for sure, because I think when I didn't play him anymore, usually players don't like the manager then that much, but he was very respectful to my staff members, to his teammates, and he trained really hard. To an extent, it was a surprise for me that when I heard after the game that he gave the comments he gave.
Other selected fixtures in the UCL this evening will have Chelsea also in Italy to face Atalanta, Barcelona against Frankfurt, and Spurs hosting Slavia Prague. In the Premier League, Man United up into 6th following a dominant 4-1 beating of bottom club Wolves. Here's Hobu Namare.
Yes, I think once again, after we scored a goal, we were a little bit sloppy on the ball, and that gave a little bit hope to the opponent. But we create a lot of chances in the first half also. We should have finished that half in a different way. Then in the half time, they understood that we have everything to win the game, to win 3 points, and they did that.
Switching to cricket now, where the Proteas will turn their attention to the shortest format of the game with the first of 5 T20s against India this afternoon. Chauke Conrad's side will be welcoming back David Miller and Anrik Nokia for the series. Nokia likely to spearhead the bowling attack in the absence of Kagiso Rabada. Here's captain Aiden Markram on the pacer.
I mean, first, it's great to have him back. Been a big player for us in previous World Cups, and whenever a bowler that can bowl as quick as he can bowl is fit and excited and ready to play, it's always a boost to any team. So great to have him back in the part. Like you mentioned, there are a couple of injuries around, so that just provides opportunities for guys, and those guys will be excited at that opportunity.
Play begins at 3:30. In netball, the Spar Proteas started the African netball title defence with the 104-25 demolition of Tanzania, while the men beat Botswana 59-38, and South Africa's men's hockey team pulled off a 5-2 victory over India to draw their series level. They meet in the deciding match Wednesday evening. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
What would be your advice for the Madlanga Commission? How should they approach the issue of witness protection? Because what we are being told is that they did offer some protection for witness D, for Marius, and he said, well, he works in the security industry. You know, he didn't need that. What would be your advice?
We don't have to go to the extreme of witness protection programs, creating pseudo-identities, creating safe houses in different provinces. That's overkill. So if they are able to protect politicians who aren't living in secrecy, then perhaps we need to look at something similar. Nobody really wants to go into a witness protection program in South Africa because their life is completely in turmoil.
Chad Thomas, crime expert and organized crime investigator.
Clement Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
You could spend 10 minutes waiting for the microwave to beep, or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. SMS out to 45142. Like 55-year-old Stefan, who now only pays an unbelievably low 611 Rand a month for his 2024 Suzuki Jimny. With Outsurance, you can drive with confidence, with up to a whopping 5 million Rand third-party liability cover that covers damage to the other person's vehicle in an accident. You can rest assured. SMS out to 45142. After switching, 55-year-old Andre now pays only 776 Rand a month for his 2024 Toyota Urban Cruiser. Get a quote. If Outsurance can't beat what you're currently paying, ask them for 500 Rand. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you have nothing to lose. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
At Checkers, we do more so you get extra this Christmas. With festive savings like Danone Ultramel Vanilla Flavored Custard, 1 kg for $24.99. And Clover Butro Full Cream Modified Butter Spread, 500 grams for $69.99. Plus, stand a chance to win your share of 7 million Rand in prizes. Simply buy any 3 qualifying products and swipe your extra savings card to enter. Valid until Sunday at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060. T&Cs apply.
You're invited to be a part of Clement's 702 family meeting this Wednesday. Join us for a year-end review of the top news stories of 2025. You could be part of the studio audience and take part in the conversation with 702 presenters and EWN reporters. If you'd like to attend, contact at 702.co.za. The email is contact at 702.co.za.
EWN Traffic.
11 to 8, this EWN Traffic brought to you by South African Airways. SAA now operates 2 flights a day to Gaborone with morning and afternoon departures. Book now at flysaa.com. That crash on the N1 North. Amo, is it bad?
It really is, Bongani. It's causing about a 15-minute hold-up coming out of Rivoli towards Roodepoort. Albertina Sisulu off-ramp. Please be on the lookout there, and if you want to avoid this scene, you can still use the Mark 1 North, although it's also got delays between Boysons and Carr Street. And then traveling on the N1 South, we've got another major accident scene right near Samrand Avenue. It's also causing heavy traffic volumes. The N1 North is also affected as a result of this scene as you come out of New Road. Please be on the lookout there and maybe use the R21 North towards the city of Tshwane. Speaking of the city of Tshwane, we've got some delays on the R80 East Mabopane Highway. This is between the R513 and the Hairpin Bend. Please be on the lookout there. While traveling on the R101, we've got an accident that's been reported there. It's right near Lavender Road and it's causing massive queues. Please be on the lookout there. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Check in, take your seat, stretch out, sip something special, and feel the holiday mood kick in long before you land. At South African Airways, every moment on board is designed to ease you into that holiday feeling. This summer, fly to Gaborone from 2,694 Rand, all-inclusive return with an allowance of 3 checked bags, so you can take everything you need for that perfect escape. The offer is valid for sale until 31 March 2026. Book at flysaa.com or contact your nearest travel agent. At South African Airways, your holiday starts when your flight does.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me what's the question if the answer is the UK. Let's go to Zipporah. Zipporah, what's the question?
Good day, Bonks. Today's question is, in which country did Michael Jackson's song, the Earth Song, hit number 1 in 1995?
Yes, indeed. It was a massive hit for him. Stayed on top of the charts in the UK for 6 weeks. Didn't quite do as well in the US, which I think was a phenomenal pity because it was just an amazing song and how timely, given what we are being told about the environment even now. Zipporah, 2,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. We just heard that, climate change is becoming more of a challenge. Wasn't Michael Jackson ahead of his time?
What about killing fears? Is there a time? What about all the things that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the blood we've shed before? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, this weeping shore? What have we done to the world? Look what we've done. What about all the peace that you pledged your only son? What about empowering feels? Is there a time? What about all the dreams that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the children dead from war? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth as we make sure?
You could spend 10 minutes waiting for the microwave to beep. Or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. For his 2024 Suzuki Jimny, 55-year-old Stefan now pays only 611 Rand a month. And for her 2024 Kia Sonnet, 31-year-old Palisa pays just 926 Rand a month. Ready to get more out of your car insurance? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Belle.
Let's catch up now with the world of viral content. Let's start with lost money.
Yeah, I mean, losing money is never a pleasant thing, right? And some people think, maybe when you lose money, it's because somebody out there in the world deserves it more, or having difficulties and deserve it more than maybe you at that particular time. I don't know if you agree with that. But the reason we're talking about this is there was a welcoming home party for a son. And they got together, all the family, and the mother had prepared a balloon, a big balloon. And inside the balloon were 100 Rand notes to give to the son to welcome him home. Now, on the video, it says 5,000 Rand, but a lot of the detectives on TikTok had screenshotted the balloon and looked at the inside and came to around about 1.5. That's what they estimate is in the balloon. Still a lot of money. So then what happens is they welcome the son home and the balloon's there, and there's a little child. It's the lady's granddaughter. She somehow grabs this balloon and walks outside and then lets go.
Fly.
Imali fly. Yes. And there goes the balloon, up and up and up away into the sky. And the family are just, you can imagine how they were reacting. Now, in case you're thinking, I better be on the lookout for this balloon, it's in Margate. It's in KZN. So, I don't think the winds will blow it this far. But, I imagine it will come down or it'll pop and those notes will float down to earth, and some lucky individual or deserving person will find those notes, right? So I wanted to ask our 702 family this morning, losing money stories. Like maybe you've had a stash of money somewhere stored in the house, or you had it in the car or your jacket and you forgot about it. Let's hear those stories where you had a lot of money and you somehow lost it, misplaced it, or it went missing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a sore story. I lost a phone in my Uber on Thursday, was it? I think it was on Thursday. And the way that they deal with these things, it's so pathetic. It's so poor. But yeah, I'm feeling a bit sore about this. If you've got a story of losing money or something valuable in unfortunate circumstances, do let us know.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand.
Well, traveling in Midrand, we've got that major accident scene on the N1 South right near Samred Avenue. As a result, traffic is backed up towards Samred Avenue. This is due to onlookers coming out of Olifantsfontein Road. I'll have more details coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. You could spend 10 minutes trying to fix the office printer, or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. SMS out to 45142. Like 65-year-old Helena, who now pays an incredibly low 398 Rand a month for her 2025 Hyundai Exter. With Outsurance, you get the legendary Out Bonus that pays you a percentage of your premiums back if you're claim-free. SMS out to 45142. After switching, 48-year-old Felicity now pays only 836 Rand a month for her 2020 Hyundai Tucson. Outsurance will either save you money on your car insurance or give you cash. If Outsurance can't beat what you're currently paying, ask them for 500 Rand. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you have nothing to lose. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
702. Feedback with Baphelile Sambo.
All right, not quite Baphelile Sambo. Rufiwa Kone is in the house. KG.
KGZ.
Not having the best of days. Have you had anything stolen or lost recently?
I've lost a lot of things,
Oh,
Bongani.
guys.
I've lost so much.
My
I don't
phone.
want to. Yeah, I don't want to go into it. It's quite depressing.
Yeah, no.
I'm not ready to talk about it.
I called the Uber driver from my other phone within a second or two of arriving, and the car had, okay, maybe a minute or two, and the car had pulled off, and it had fallen in the back seat. And he says, no. I said, just look back, obviously. He says, no, it's not there. And that's that. What can you do?
Yeah.
With Uber, it's your word against the drivers. So I'm a bit sore. Anyway, what other feedback do you have?
Well, Bongani, listeners are reacting to your big interview, and they are saying that taverns that are open in township and locations, in the amount that they are opened in those areas, is due to the fact that police aren't doing their due diligence, and it would also help if community members weren't in support of these businesses, and also if we put laws in place that limit the amount of alcoholic businesses or taverns that are allowed in the neighborhood. Maybe that might also help. And also, Bongani, listeners are weighing in on your question about pay versus passion, and I'm happy to hear that many people are. Oh, you guys!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Rufiwa!
Happy birthday to you!
Rufiwa!
Dear Rufiwa! Happy birthday to you!
Oh, you guys!
You thought we forgot. You thought we
You
forgot.
guys suck. Oh my God!
Happy birthday!
Thank you so much,
Our
guys.
feedback to you.
Aw.
Hope it's a special one.
It is.
We thank you so much for being a part of this team and for looking out for us. Are you crying now? Happy birthday.
You guys, you know I'm a softie.
Let's
Thank
go to
you, guys.
Sfisa Zulu for the 8 o'clock news.
This is EWN.
A car and people of interest found as police look for the killers of a Madlanga inquiry witness, and peace in the DRC is at risk less than a week after an agreement to stop fighting. Good morning. National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola is confident of a breakthrough in the investigation into the murder of one of the witnesses at the Madlanga Commission. Marius van der Merwe was shot dead in Brakpan last Friday night, but it's not clear if the hit was linked to his appearance at the commission that's investigating corruption in the criminal justice system or his other work in the private security industry. Police have now identified 3 people of interest and found a car they believe was used in the attack. Masemola and a team of police bosses visited the Van der Merwe family home last night.
We have confirmed to the family that we do believe that we have found one of the vehicles that were used during the shooting. Apparently there were 2 vehicles used, a sedan and a bakkie. So we found the bakkie vehicle.
The police top brass were also in Pretoria yesterday, where they announced that they've shut down 101 taverns operating without licenses in Atteryville over the past 7 months. This information was released after a mass shooting at an illegal establishment in Soulsville on Saturday, where 12 people, including 3 children, were killed. 3 men stormed the tavern in the early hours and shot at 25 people. Masemola has dismissed claims that law enforcement is failing to tackle illegal liquor outlets.
Since April, we have shut down 101 illegal liquor outlets. You can call them shebeens. 11 of those were closed down in the last 4 weeks, and our members are intensifying operation. As you are aware, we are in Operation Festive Season already.
Parliament has sanctioned National Coloured Congress MP Fadil Adams for placing the personal information of a DA staff member on social media without consent. Adams will now have to apologise and have a sizable portion of his salary docked for posting the staff member's information after the DA laid a complaint against him with Parliament's Joint Ethics Committee. Adams posted the information after the DA voted against a motion that was tabled by his party earlier this year. Babalon Denza reports.
DA Chief Whip George Mikalakis, in his complaint, says he had instructed a staff member to object to a motion without notice that was circulated by the National Coloured Congress. In its report, the Joint Ethics Committee says it then came to Mikalakis' attention that Fadil Adams subsequently made a social media post on Facebook which contained a screenshot of the email drafted by the staff member. He says the email included personal details of the staff member. Mikalakis also states that the publication of the staff member's personal details is an assault on the staff member's dignity, right to privacy, and the right to have his personal information kept safe and secure. The committee has now sanctioned Adams with a reprimand in the House and that he must apologize in the chamber. Adams will also have his salary and allowances reduced by an amount equal to 20 days. Adams will also be suspended from his seat in the parliamentary debates and committees for a period of 20 parliamentary days. Babalo Ndanza, Eyewitness News.
And a recently signed agreement aimed at ending fighting in the Democratic Republic of Congo appears to be unraveling. The DRC and Burundi have called out neighboring Rwanda after the Rwanda-backed M23 armed group attacked border areas. DRC President Felix Tshisekedi accused Rwanda of violating the accord signed last Thursday in Washington as the M23 made a rapid advance to threaten the city of Uvira near the border with Burundi. Hundreds of fleeing Congolese and allied Burundian soldiers have sought refuge inside Burundi as a result. A procession of ceasefire agreements for Eastern DRC have been broken in quick succession without putting an end to the fighting, which has raged for 30 years. Gold is trading at $4,180.41 an ounce. The rand is at 17.03 to the dollar, 22.71 to the pound, 19.84 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $62.33 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got a major accident seen on the N1 South, right near Samrand Avenue, heading towards Midrand. As a result, there's queuing traffic on the N1 North due to onlookers, and delays are as you come out of New Road.
And in your sport, Proteas turn their attention to the T20 series against India with the first of 5 outings this afternoon. Inter Liverpool headline the UEFA Champions League encounters this evening, and Bafana schedule a friendly with Ghana before departing for AFCON.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 29 and 31. The top story in EWN this hour. National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola is confident of a breakthrough in the investigation into the murder of one of the witnesses at the Madlanga Commission.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Gosh, the National Police Commissioner has been a busy man. Yesterday, of course, he was at the scene of the 2 big crimes we've been talking about over the last day or so. He was in Soulsville, in Tshwane, at that so-called Tavern. And I'm almost reluctant to use that word, because really what it was an illegal drinking place. Maybe we'll just call it a place, because it was half. Think what a bachelor pad would look like. So everything is all in one single room. There are no different rooms within the room, but it's also in a hostel. We heard from the MMC from Tshwane who says there was grass overgrown. Once you're kind of in, you're trapped. So there was anywhere of those patrons were going to go. But at 4 o'clock on a Saturday morning, there were at least 25 people there, many of whom were patrons drinking. But the thing I can't get over is the shooting of the children. Maybe the 25-year-old or the 15-year-old you might have been confused about, but a 3-year-old toddler. It was also, of course, talking about the murder of Marius van der Merwe, who was shot dead in Brakpan last week, Friday, and we understand there is some kind of breakthrough they're anticipating in that case.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Kabazela wants to know, have you lost any money? Birthday surprise gone wrong is the video. They've pumped a few R1,000 or a few R100 in a balloon. A kid grabs the balloon, decides the first thing to do. What do you do with a balloon? You let it fly outside, and out went the money. And the family, obviously, in a bit of an annoyance, I would imagine. Talking about birthday annoyances, Rufiwa Kone, our ace producer, you were still busy with your feedback
until you caught me
before
off
we
guard,
surprised
guys.
you. So now that you've stopped crying and you've composed yourself, do you want to continue?
Well, Bongani, yes, we did get an update from Dr. D. Blackie from the Children's Memorial Institute.
Yes, this is about the electricity shutdown.
Yes, as you might remember, we had a discussion with her last week, and they were complaining about some power outages
No, they'd been switched off.
They had been switched off,
Yeah.
basically. She has confirmed that they have secured an urgent interdict, and City Power arrived at 4 a.m. last week, Friday, and restored electricity. You can take a listen to the voice note.
All right.
Hi, Bongani. Thank you so much for helping us last week. Yeah, the power has been restored at the Children's Memorial Institute. We got our urgent interdict at lunchtime on Friday, and to our surprise, City Power arrived at about 4:30 and restored our electricity. So thank you again for all your support.
Well, we were worried, of course, about the little ones and the other NPOs that were operating and in that space. So it seems sanity has prevailed. City Power coming to the party there and restoring power to the Children's Memorial Institute.
Let's talk.
We're listening.
Good morning, Bongani. This is Kagiso from Dalpark. Yeah, I was given a clothing voucher from one of the big stores here in South Africa when I was leaving the Department of Health. That was in 2017. Believe me, till today, I don't know where I placed that voucher. You know, it was worth some amount of money because many professionals, you know, bought me that voucher. I guess maybe it was in the 1,000, I just guess. But yeah, I misplaced it. Till today, I'm still looking for it and asking myself, if it's still worth taking to the shop. That was 2017. Thank you. Bye. It's painful.
Good morning. I also left my phone in the Uber when I was in Cape Town. I only realized it when we got back to the place that we were staying. I could see on my Google location that it was obviously with the person. We tried to phone him, and as soon as we said the phone is there, he dropped the call, refused to answer. Literally 30 minutes later, I saw my phone being advertised on Facebook Marketplace in the area that we were staying. And I even tried to buy my phone back, but I think they knew it was actually my phone. I was very, very upset because I literally only had the phone for 6 months.
Hello, Bongani. I must say, I was in Atteridgeville sometime last year, and I forgot my phone in the Uber. And then somewhere around, I asked somebody to lend me a phone, and I called it. And he answered. He said, "Stand right there. I'm coming back." And he came back, and I tried to pay him for the trip. He refused. He just gave me my phone, and I was so grateful. So some of them are so good and kind.
Yeah, it wasn't my case. It wasn't my story. I was rushing for a flight. And as I arrived at the airport, I'm, got all my bags and everything. And he, of course, drives off. And then I check. I mean, we probably hadn't stopped a minute. And then, of course, you've got to go into the app and try and find how to phone the driver because the trip is now over, which is also annoying. It used to be a lot easier. And then eventually you do, the phone rings, he answers. I say he must check. He kind of hesitates. He says, no, I can't see anything. I'll call you back. And of course, that was the last I heard from him. The phone was switched off and bye-bye. And there's no way that the app helps you or Uber assists you. It's one of those things. If you're not careful with your goods, I'm afraid the joke and the loss is yours.
Hello, good morning, Bongani. About these taverns, I'll tell you one thing. I used to be a chairman of the Liquor Traders Association. And, it's very common that you get these tavern operators, like, for instance, this typical example of this lady. She'll come to the meeting, she will tell you, you know what, I've got 8 grandkids I have to look after. This is the only source of income I can make. If I close this outlet, I'll get nothing out of it. And what can you do? You just leave it like that.
Bongi, goeiemorgen man. Floris here from the beautiful Western Cape. Bongi, taverns, we as the community, we keep them open. We supply them. And then we want to cry foul if stuff like what happened over the weekend, which is really sad, happened, then we want to cry foul. But as long as we are buying from these guys, these unscrupulous guys, we will not get rid of them. And mind you, some police members, they go in there over weekends and they go sit and they drink there because they get discount. It is really sad. This is something that we will struggle for years. We will struggle for years, Bongi. Our kids, grandkids, great-grandkids will talk about this issue. Have a good show. Bye-bye.
Yeah, look, we spoke a little earlier, by the way, if you've just joined us, to the Tshwane MMC Community Safety and SAPA SA about these illegal shebeens. And if you are from a rural area, a village, if you've lived or been near an informal settlement, if you've been in a township, and even actually in some of the suburbs, the traditional suburbs, there are many, many places that are selling liquor and they're doing so illegally. And I think one of the telltale signs is loud music, particularly in residential areas when people should be sleeping and you can hear this goom, 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 goom. If you're going to tell me the police don't know, come on. If you're going to tell me communities are going to be up in arms, well, those are the very customers that are buying from those places at those hours. We have a drinking problem, South Africa. We really do.
EWN Traffic.
8:15. Amo, let's catch up with you now and the roads.
Well, in Midrand, Bongani, we still have got those heavy traffic volumes, obviously, because of that accident that happened right near Sambrain Avenue. As a result, delays on the N1 North between New Road and the Sambrain Avenue, as well as the N1 South approaching where the scene is. So please try to avoid the scene. Heading towards Kempton Park or even Woodmead, try to use the R21 North if you are leaving the city of Tshwane at this particular moment. And then traveling on the Mike 1 South, we've got delays between Grayston Drive and Cornet Drive. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North between Malibongwe Drive and Rivonia Road. Please drive with care. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
At Auto & General, we understand your business is built on more than just vehicles. It's your stock, tools and equipment, and the premises where you work. Auto & General Business Insurance is designed for businesses like yours, protecting your assets against fire, theft, storms, and other unexpected events. To protect your livelihood, visit autogen.co.za and get an obligation-free business insurance quote. Auto & General, never not there. Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
Some numbers bring instant stress, like a speeding fine, another petrol price hike, or that one debit order you forgot about, again. But not all numbers bring panic. Some bring calm and actual life-saving support. With 24/7 emergency support and over 300 ambulances, ER24 is there when you need us most. Don't wait for an emergency. See it, say it, save it. 084 124.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Now, when last did you see Santa soaring through the sky? What if you could do so for 10,000 Rand? Yes, absolutely. That is FlySafair's new marketing campaign. Imagine looking up at the sky this festive season, and if you spot Santa, you could win 10,000 Rand. This year, his sleigh, of course, as always, is packed with presents, but this time he's got a new wingman. FlySafair to tell us all about it. Kirby Gordon, the FlySafair marketing manager, joins us on the line. Kirby, a very good morning to you. We all can't wait for Santa to arrive with his sleigh and his elves and the presents, but there's something in it for us if we see him before he drops down the chimney.
Yes, absolutely. Jeepers. I mean, it's no small amount of responsibility from the big guy in red, but, we've got to pull our parts. So, yeah, absolutely. There's a little promotion on the go. There's more information available on flysafair.co.za or on our social media channels. But effectively, if you can snap a pic and spot that plane in and around South Africa, you can post about it and stand a chance to win 10,000 rands worth of flight vouchers.
All right, let's just be clear. What are we exactly looking for? Because we've got to spot Santa's new sleigh, which of course is a FlySafair aircraft this time.
That's absolutely correct. So, what happened was one of the elves was down visiting in South Africa, taking a vacation during the June-July period, and he hopped on a flight from one of our new routes from Lanseria to East London, and he was just so impressed by the airline being on time. So the big guy wrote to us and he said, listen, do you think you can help us out? I need a little bit of assistance in South Africa. And we said, sure. So we painted an aircraft with his sleigh on it. And yeah, he's making his way all around South Africa. And that's what you got to look out for.
And tell me about the design inspiration. I mean, how much were you involved, or was it just all up to the elves?
So the elves assisted us a little bit. They obviously wanted it to be true to the big guy himself. It's important that we got a verisimilitude. But what was quite cool was we managed to rope in some amazing South African animals to help out the reindeer. They obviously need a little bit of backup here in South Africa. So if you take a close look, you'll see that it's not just reindeer that are pulling, but there's a springbok in there, there's a zebra in there, there's a little eland in there. So they've kind of put a little bit of a South African twist on things.
All right, Kirby, I'm going to ask you for a little cheat sheet because no one's really listening. Are there specific routes or cities that perhaps, we could be more likely to spot the sleigh, as it were? Just tell me. I won't tell anyone.
All right, just between us. The reality is that he's going to fly all over the country. I was just checking him out right now. He's in Cape Town. So if you're in and around, anyone's in and around Cape Town right now, they can take a look for him at Cape Town International. But there's a special tool on the FlySafair app.
Yeah.
If you jump into the main menu there's a special Santa plane tracker. So you jump onto the app, the three dots in the top left-hand corner, you'll see a little thing there for the Santa plane tracker, and you can actually see where he is in the country at any given time.
All right, so if I spot this plane, all I've got to do is take a pic and use, and imagine you're going to have a hashtag, right?
Yes, absolutely. Hashtag Santa Sleigh, and you can @FlySafair's channel in the appropriate social media channel.
So tag FlySafair on social media and put a picture of when I have spot this Santa sleigh. I'd imagine this is going to do some good things for your brand.
Well, we hope so. We hope it brings a little joy. I mean, it is the festive season. It's been a long, hard year for most South Africans, and the idea is really to put a few smiles on a few faces.
Any tips for those who want the best chance? Because I'd imagine you're going to be flooded with lots of photographs. What's going to make one pop out?
Show us joy. Anything that shows joy, a smiling face, a little bit of happiness, show us your joy.
All right, and if people want more information, because you've only just told me about this, people want more information about Santa's new sleigh and spotting the sleigh, this competition, where else can they go?
So I think the best place to check out is flysafair.co.za, but of course there's always information on our Facebook page, on our Instagram channel, and all the other social media channels. So stick around there and you'll be able to see all of the information.
All right, Kirby Gordon, flying high, the Chief Marketing Officer at FlySafair. If you spot Santa's sleigh plane, take a picture, put it on your socials, tag FlySafair, and you can use the hashtag Santa Sleigh. And if you show them a little bit of joy, who knows? Last question for you, Kirby.
Yes.
Any idea what he's bringing for me? Did he tell you?
Oh, he did mention something, but he's just wanting to check to make sure that you're being nice enough for the rest of the year. He says you've been a bit naughty, so
he's
he
going
just
to ask
wants
Mr.
to
Santa, is he?
put it together. Yes.
All in good fun. But tell you what, 10,000 Rand is no laughing matter, so do take this seriously. FlySafair Chief Marketing Officer, Kirby Gordon.
702, The World View.
With Adam Gill. Gilchrist.
Catch up now with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam Gilchrist, a very good morning to you. Let's start with this conflict developing in Southeast Asia between Thailand and Cambodia.
Things had looked a bit peaceful of late along this border, a disputed border for 100 plus years. Thailand and Cambodia absolutely want a bit of each other's territory. But a US brokered truce 5 months ago or so, and then ultimately signed a couple of months ago. As a result of that truce, actually, Donald Trump was nominated by Cambodia for a Nobel Peace Prize. But here we go. Airstrikes along the border. Thailand has got his air force at work. We know that Cambodian soldiers have been firing back, and there's been artillery fire, bombs dropped, gunfire across the border. And so far, at least 3 Thai soldiers have been killed and 8 others injured. And in Cambodia, at least according to local authorities, 7 civilians have been killed. Thousands of civilians are now fleeing the area. I mean, you wouldn't you? Anywhere close to the Thailand-Cambodia border, thousands of people are now on the move trying to escape the escalation of violence. And it had all looked so promising. That's the problem. Malaysia's Prime Minister, who helped broker that peace deal originally, he says all this risks unraveling a lot of careful work. It does feel like the unraveling is happening.
Sometimes, Adam, of course, the conflict does end. Tell us about 1 year of freedom in Syria.
Yeah, a definite positive. If the first story was negative, here we are, Syria celebrating 12 months since the toppling of Bashar al-Assad, since the end of the Assad regime. It feels longer than a year, doesn't it? It feels like al-Assad was sort of ancient history, but anyway, a year on, there have been people celebrating on the streets of Damascus and fireworks and party time, given that Assad oversaw the execution of 200,000 people, 23,000 of them children, that 96,000 people were disappeared during his regime, 15,000 people tortured, and of course he scarpered to Russia, so he will never face justice for all this. This is a guy who used chemical weapons and cluster munitions and barrel bombs against his own people, at least the people he didn't like amongst his own population. So here we are 12 months later, and there are huge economic problems for Syria, mass unemployment and galloping inflation. But last night, Ahmed al-Sharaa, the new leader, he talked about looking beyond, looking to the future, being safe and making things happen. There's not been a lot of reconstruction generally in Syria, certainly according to eyewitness accounts. But you know what? Time and time again, you hear this. People have a lot of patience. They have faith in their leader. So a year on, they're absolutely not trying to get rid of him or remove him or think about anything else. They're saying, you know what, give this guy a chance. With a bit more time, Syria can be a better place. I don't think any other world leader gets that kind of patience and that kind of support, but good luck to him.
Yes, indeed. Adam Gilchrist, we'll have to leave it there for this morning's World View.
EWN Business.
And our final business report for the morning, the Competition Tribunal giving Tiger Brands the nod to sell its milling business. Muteo?
Yeah, Tiger Brands has been given the thumbs up to sell its milling business to Rand Agri. Now, Rand Agri is a South African-based company and leading bulk trader in the Southern African grain market. The sale includes its well-known Ace maize meal brand. Tiger Brands' milling and baking business reported a revenue of 8.6 billion rand for the financial year ending in September this year. The tribunal's decision requires the buyer, Rand Agri, to retain all employees of Tiger Brands and maintain their current pay and benefits. Tiger Brands owns brands such as Albany Bread and Jungle Oats, and the food maker says it's letting go of its milling unit to focus on other areas of its operations.
Timely lifeline for SA smelters as Eskom agrees to a tariff deal.
Yeah, Eskom has agreed to enter into talks for a new electricity tariff that will see South African smelters reopen on a limited basis and potentially save more than 3,000 jobs. Now, CEO of the state-owned power utility, Dan Marokane, says they signed a memorandum of understanding with the Glencore Merafe Chrome venture and Samanco Chrome. Now, the talks followed the initiation by Samanco and the Glencore Merafe Chrome venture of a Section 189 retrenchment recruitment process that could affect close to 5,000 workers. Constructive meetings were held on Friday last week that included Energy and Electricity Minister Josienzo Ramogopa. Now, this is very important because the smelters have been complaining about the high price of electricity in the country and how that's affecting their operations, and they've been left no choice but to let some people go. So Eskom has stepped in to say, look, we're willing to adjust our tariff when it comes to your business, just so you can save some of those jobs. And obviously, in the long term, they'll work out a tariff that works. But of course, those Eskom prices, whether you are a big business or a household, have been quite high and very hard to afford.
I'm still wrapping my head around the 900%.
Yeah, since 2008.
Wow, that's extraordinary. And we just keep on paying. All right, let's look at the markets. Are those up 900%?
No, not at all. Actually, a really bad start for the local market on Monday. The all share down 1,653 points, down 1.5%. Industrials were lower in the red yesterday. Banking stocks are lower by 0.5%, while mining shares also in the red by 2.5% yesterday. Some of the biggest losers included Anglo Gold. They were down more than 4%. Goldfields are down 3.6%. Truworths are down 2.9%, with the likes of Aspen and Northam down 2.5% respectively. Also some losses for the big retailer Pepco. They were down 2.6%. A better day for Super Group. Industrial Giant up 3%. APSA up 2.5%. Karoo up 2.4% yesterday. Spar releasing results. They were up more than 2% yesterday. Motors, the sellers of cars, they were also up 2%, with Bidcorp also enjoying gains yesterday. The Rand this hour, 17 Rand 4 cents against the US dollar, 19 Rand 84 against the euro, and 22 Rand 68 cents against the British pound. Price of gold slightly lower this morning, $4,178 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,650. Brent crude at $62.29 a barrel. Stephen Grotus with more this afternoon.
Back now with the latest eyewitness news at exactly 8:30. Sfisa Zulu, good morning.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The ANC's National General Council continues today with disgruntled staffers saying they are being taken for granted by the party as they continue to work without pay. In addition to the late and sometimes non-payment of salaries, some ANC employees say the organization is not making contributions to their medical aid and provident funds. Tabiso Goba reports.
In his opening speech yesterday, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa urged the party's members to be humble and not publicly show off their wealth, while a majority of South Africans continue to suffer. Those words hit closer to home as ANC staffers picketing near the entrance of the Birchwood Hotel saw luxury car after luxury car drive past them. While the pickets had about 20 staffers participating, EWN spoke to several of the party's employees who were working at the NGC despite not being paid. Speaking on behalf of the unpaid workers, Dan Semenya says this is a recurring problem.
I think now we are almost into up to 6 months now that our provident fund has not been paid. Issues that relates to medical aid also. For the last month of November, we have been experiencing issues where members will go to hospitals or a doctor. Only when they arrive there, they'll be told that medical aid has been suspended.
ANC national spokesperson Mahlengi Bengu says while there has been issues of late payment of salaries, the party has not defaulted on its medical aid and provident fund contributions for its staff. Tabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
The South African Weather Services says there is a 60% chance of thunderstorms over most parts of Gauteng today. Residents are urged to avoid being outdoors as the heavy rains are expected to come with excessive lightning. There's also a warning for motorists who get trapped during floods to abandon their cars and seek higher ground. Forecaster Litlokhonolo Tobela.
Partly cloudy conditions will dominate across the province with a 60% chance of showers and thundershowers. Warm temperatures over most parts of Gauteng, but hot in some places in the northern parts, with a yellow level 2 warning of severe thunderstorms expected into the afternoon.
The NPA says it has not opposed bail for 5 suspects accused of luring South Africans to fight in Russia because there's no indication yet that the group might flee the country. The suspects appeared in court yesterday and their case has been postponed to February next year. Alleged recruiters, SABC broadcaster Nonkululeko Mantula received 30,000 Rand bail, while Xolani Ntuli was granted 15,000 Rand bail. The recruits, aged between 21 and 24, were set to join Russian forces in contract contravention of the Foreign Military Assistance Act. NPA spokesperson Pindim Jonandwane.
Well, at this point, we don't have information that they might flee and evade their trial. Hence, we did not oppose their bail application. However, we requested the court to set conditions such as that the passport for accused number one, whom we are alleging she's the main recruiter, must remain with the state.
And renewed fighting between Thailand and Cambodia over a disputed border continues as more deaths are reported and thousands are displaced. Cambodia says 2 more civilians have been killed in overnight shelling by Thai forces, and this brings the total deaths on its side to 7, while Thailand has reported that at least 1 soldier has been killed. Both sides have blamed each other for the clashes, which have derailed a fragile ceasefire that was brokered by US President Donald Trump earlier in July. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 29 and 31.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 South heading towards Midrand between the Brakfontein interchange and Olifantsfontein Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North approaching Olifantsfontein Road turn off due to an accident.
The top story this hour, the ANC's National General Council continues today with some disgruntled workers saying they are being taken for granted by the party as they continue to work without pay.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
The Midday Report won the Best News and Actuality Show at the Telkom Radio Awards. A big thank you to Palesa Mabuye, the technical producer of this show. She doesn't just push the buttons. She does so much more. She keeps me sane. She makes me laugh. She is also the ultimate professional. There's a reason that it sounds so slick and everything works so well. And then also to Nokubonga Klatshwayo, producer of the show. She puts together the show, listens to all of your WhatsApp voice notes, and thank you to all of you.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702. Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for butcheries, restaurants, beauty salons, and more. Here's Gert.
I definitely have peace of mind that Business Outsurance is protecting our business. I do think Business Outsurance are the best insurance company out there, and they gave us the best quotes.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
It's been a long year of, I hope this email finds you well. One long year of loop backs, circle backs, going back to the drawing board, touching base, pushing the envelope, taking things offline and thinking outside the box. Thank goodness AV's 443 is here for vacays, bakeys, imicimbi, nemikiti and weddings. If you book a car for a minimum of 4 days, you'll only pay for 3. Plus, if it's a Group A car, you get upgraded to a stylish Group B car so you can really get into the vibe. Visit avis.co.za for bookings. Terms and conditions apply.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bonks and the team. I think regarding the no name and branded products, I think we in my house we actually buy things like your milk and stuff, and you actually find out that the milk, which is non-branded, is actually more richer than this branded milk. Is just what we have observed. So we do switch and change between branded and non-branded products. Chaba, Indonesia. Thank you.
Good morning, Bonks and the team. This side of my wife, it's not about the brand. It's about where did you buy it? Oh my goodness. If you got it from our local sponsor shops, cheapest, nobody will consume it. Even the kids, they follow the mama. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not quite the same thing though. Spazas don't have their own brands or branded, goods. And given what we've seen, at spaza shops and what kids consume from spaza shops, I can understand why their mama, as you say, would have those issues. We're talking more generically, the major retailers who often have their own house brands. Do you prefer to buy branded items, even though quite often they're made by the same people, just packaged differently for different customers? Things like sugar, milk is milk, right? It comes from the same cow. Do you know what I mean?
Salt is salt.
Even Willie's milk And so it's all about perception, I think. Mateo Khorepe was asking this question a little earlier on. Woolies, I think people generally trust even their household or no-name brands because we have an idea of what we think Woolies is. And of course, they are excellent, right? But there are other retailers who have products that are house brands that are just as good. Often they're made by the same people. Like jam is jam. No?
No.
Isn't jam jam? Strawberry jam?
No, it's
not all jams are made equal?
They are not made equal, no.
What's the difference? More sugar?
The sweetness, the texture, the thickness as well. It's different.
And isn't peanut butter peanut butter?
I would say peanut butter is peanut butter, but after some time, you would see the one starting to develop some like waterish thing on top, like when you haven't used it for a while, if it's a no-name brand, in most cases.
Okay, I'm here for my no-name brands, eh?
Hi, Bongani, how are you? Yeah, Bongani, you see, the thing is these Uber drivers, I mean, some of them, they are not reliable. I just lost my phone recently on the Uber, and then, you know what, when I was phoning that phone, it just goes to voicemail and all those stuff. And then the other one, the trip was 80 rand. So instead of giving him 80 rand, I gave him 130 unaware, and he didn't even give me a change, So, hey, so bad with these Uber drivers.
Yeah, I suppose the responsibility is for ourselves to make sure we look after our things. It's frustrating, it's annoying, but yeah, what can we do? What can we do?
EWN Sport.
Context, Anthony, I was talking about how I lost my phone in an Uber and the app just doesn't, it's not there for you, shame.
Sure.
Good luck to you. If you don't look after your goods and you forget and you're 50 years old and your mind wanders and you zone out, it's not their problem.
And it's not like you can call the Uber driver because your phone is there.
I called him on via the app.
Oh, really? Sure.
He was going to call me back just now.
Yeah. Well, just now,
Just now.
No.
Let's talk about the ODI series that we lost. We won the
Yeah.
Test series. We lost the ODI series. I thought we were doing really well in that last game until we weren't.
Yeah.
Any chance for the Proteas men against India in now the T20 series?
I mean, you have to say that they have a great chance given the fact that you do have David Miller coming back. It's also been a long time since he played. Question marks over fitness. Andrik Nokia also coming back. It's a repeat of that previous World Cup final. So there should be, a bit of... we want to get this victory. But yeah, like you said, freshly off that ODI series loss to India, the Proteas now turn attention to the shortest format of the game. Captain Aidan Markram revealed that Coach Shukri Conrad wants them to play an expansive brand of cricket.
T20 cricket, it's an entertaining format, and that's the brand and the way we want to play. We want guys to free themselves up, enjoy the game, let their best skills be on show, and hopefully if we put a collective sort of effort together, it looks like the result will hopefully be a good one. So just an exciting time. T20 cricket's always meant to be exciting, and we're looking forward to that.
Play begins at 3:30. Switching to football now, where Bafana have set up a testing friendly before departing for AFCON. They're set to meet four-time African champs Ghana next week Tuesday at a yet unannounced venue. Bafana head to Morocco, where they start their group stage with the clash against Angola December 22nd, while the UEFA Champions League headliner this evening is Liverpool in Italy against Inter. No Mohamed Salah, as he's remained at Anfield and not travelled with the squad over his comments over the deteriorating relationship with manager Arne Slot and being forced out by hidden figures. Slot hasn't attempted to talk with the winger to resolve the matter.
Then I should find out exactly why he said what he said. But then I have to guess a little bit. If that's not only because he doesn't play, then the answer to your question could be just play him every single time. But maybe that's not the reason why he said what he said. Maybe there's something else why he has this opinion.
Other selected fixtures this evening will have Chelsea taking on Atalanta, Barcelona against Frankfurt, Spurs hosting Slava Prague, all those kicking off at 10 p.m, while the FA Cup third round draw has thrown out 4 All-Premier League fixtures. Sunderland travel to Everton, Newcastle meet Bournemouth, Man United take on Brighton, and the pick of the round has to be Spurs hosting Aston Villa. All matches set to be played around the second weekend of January. While last night in the Premier League, Wolves suffered a 13th loss of their campaign in a a 4-1 loss to United, remaining bottom of the table. And the Spot Proteas will continue their Africa Netball Cup title defense against Malawi this evening. Before then, the men are set to take on neighbour Zimbabwe. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
At Auto & General, we understand your business is built on more than just vehicles. It's your stock, tools and equipment, and the premises where you work. Auto & General Business Insurance is designed for businesses like yours, protecting your assets against fire, theft, storms, and other unexpected events. To protect your livelihood, visit autogen.co.za and get an obligation-free business insurance quote. Auto & General, never not there. Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
FlySafair is flying into summer, and so should you, with 175 daily flights to 15 sun-soaked destinations. Early bird, midday meanderer, or night owl. Whatever your travel style is, with more flights more often to more places, you can start your holiday whenever it suits you. From seaside chills to mountain thrills, it's time to pick your favorite holiday hotspot and go. Book now at flysafair.co.za. FlySafair, for the love of flying. T's and C's apply.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
We can all see the real issue is the electricity prices. What kind of agreement have you reached with Eskom? And I presume government's involved in here somewhere.
We as Glencore Marafi only had like a couple of weeks left before I had to retrench thousands of people. So obviously government and everybody working really hard to find a solution. And I can tell you that the MOU that we did sign, definitely for us as Glencore Marafi, is definitely a positive move.
Yapi Fullard is the CEO at Glencore Alloys.
The Money Show.
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show, Stephen Curtis, is brought to you by ABSA CIB. Invested in your story because your story matters. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
You're invited to be a part of Clement's 702 family meeting this Wednesday morning. Join us for a year-end review of the top news stories of 2025. Be a part of the studio audience and take part in the conversation with 702 presenters and EWN reporters. If you'd like to attend, email us, contact@702.co.za. We're looking forward to walking the talk with you.
EWN Traffic.
It's 8:45. Amo Ramila, let's wrap up the morning's traffic.
Well, Bongani, it was quite a busy day this morning, especially on the N1 in the Midrand, actually between Midrand and the city of Tshwane, due to that major accident that happened right near Samrand Avenue. As a result, there's heavy delays towards the city of Tshwane as well, coming out of New Road, so please be on the lookout there. Heading towards Tshwane, we've got more delays on the R21 North due to roadworks approaching Olifantsfontein Road. And then, of course, on the Mark1 South, those roadworks are back up again in Bramley. Just as you approach Corlett Drive, delays coming out of Marlborough Drive. More updates at the top of the hour. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Naked people have happier marriages because naked people spend less time on insurance admin. They have more time for date nights or couples therapy. Go to naked.insure now. Get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds and get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
LLB graduates can fast-track their legal career with the Law Society of South Africa's PVT School for Legal Practice. LPC accredited, this 4-month practice-ready course, which is taught by practicing lawyers, can reduce your PVT contract by 12 months for admission. Study by day, after hours, or via distance at campuses nationwide. The first 2026 intake runs from January to April. Applications close 31 October 2025. Apply now at lssalead.org.za. That's lssalead.org.za.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
And he's just walked into the studio looking like he's, I don't know, about to take a walk somewhere in Monaco, in the south of France, maybe in the south of Italy. Looking every bit the rich man he is. Clement Manyatela, a very good morning to you.
This attack, it started with Sia as I walked into the studio. Now you. Anyway.
What's on the show today?
Coming up on the show today, can I ask you a question
Ooh,
that I'm going to be asking the listeners on the 702
what's the
open
question?
line? What is the one thing that you have ever had to disclose, either to your loved one, your lover, your partner, your kids, that they didn't know about, and it was like an either make or break?
Well, to your kids, Shem, what choice do they have?
But still,
A
they
make
could
or
still
break.
react.
What would be a
I
make
mean,
or
imagine
break
you
with
told your
kids?
daughter
That I'd
and
killed
your
someone.
son, oh, that No, not that, but that, you've got a sibling. I've never told you about
What would
the
that be a
sibling.
make or break with my relationship with them?
No, but maybe the child might think, but how could you not tell us something like that we've got a brother out there or a sister out there? But that's an easy one. The reason I'm asking the question is
Yeah.
there is a pastor in the US who came to church and told the congregation that he's transgender. And everybody was surprised. And he said, I'm choosing to say this and make an announcement about this, even though my family has indicated to me that it doesn't support me. There have been conversations going on about the difficult things that you have kept to yourself, and there came a time when you had to actually tell your wife, your husband, your congregation, your grandmother about, and it was very difficult to disclose. Or maybe your sexuality to your parents, your sexuality to your ex-husband, your ex-wife.
So one of the things I suppose that life and growth show you is how sometimes those secrets, as you say, those things that you haven't disclosed, once they're out, they become nothing issues. I'd completely forgotten about the whole process of coming out as you were asking me that question because it's no longer a thing. But of course, there
Once
was a
it was
time
out,
when it was the
yeah.
biggest crisis of my
Right?
life, and now I don't even remember it as a thing.
Yeah.
I'm so curious about how that conversation is going to unfold. What
Yeah,
else?
So I'm going to be asking the listeners about that on the open line. But at 10 o'clock, we're going to be in conversation with the Deputy Minister of Transport, Mkhuleko Hlengwa. The festive season is approaching, and law enforcement agencies are tightening their grip on unlicensed drivers and roadworthy vehicles. So we'll look at the department's campaign to ensure that we arrive safe and alive. At 11 o'clock on our World of Work feature, we're discussing the fear of falling behind. Why do we often struggle to switch off when we're on holiday? And then we wrap up the show at 11:30 on our health and wellness feature. Today we're discussing how to maintain your workout plan over the holidays.
My what plan?
Yeah, exactly, because I haven't seen you at the gym over the last 3 months.
Wow.
You gave us your visuals on
Wow.
Instagram gymming every day, and then you just
Wow,
disappeared
Clement
with no
Manyatela.
explanation. Where
That
have you
colleague-
been, Mr. Bingwa?
That colleague of
Go
yours.
back to the gym. Go back to gym.
Go away, rich man. Clement Manyatela, between 9 and 12.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for real estate agencies, law firms, computer services, and more. Yakolin?
We saved a lot of money when we switched over from another insurance company to Business Outsurance. We've had some claims and they were friendly and efficient and paid out when they promised.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Selling your car? Don't change your festive plans. We Buy Cars will come to you and handle it in a flash. Simply complete the form on webuycars.co.za to get your offer. Gifting yourself a new ride? Visit We Buy Cars online or at any branch to find the car on your wish list. We Buy Cars, the easiest way to buy or sell your car.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Morning, Bongani and team. Right. For me, pay set aside, I would certainly do leadership coaching free of charge. Love leadership. Love it when leaders actually lead and not manage. Right. I would also probably throw in some voiceover work in there. Yeah, I'll do all of that for free. Thanks. Enjoy.
Hey, morning bongs and Simatulanders. I was a chef for more than 10 years. And it was for the passion. The pay was nonsense. The working hours were nonsense. Yeah, but I loved it. And I never knew that I loved up until a primary school friend of mine, I bumped into him. And I told him what I do. And he says, hey, brah, you wanted to be a chef since primary school. And I forgot that I told people that I want to be a chef back then, hey? But yeah, that ended, and now I'm self-employed in inverted commas. I just do anything for money, and I'm loving it. Yeah, and I'm loving what I'm doing now. Like it just, yeah, you know. But yeah, it was for passion. Cooked up from Devland.
For passion or for pay? We were talking a little earlier on about the ANC struggling to pay staff salaries and employees having to picket outside the NGC meeting in Boksburg yesterday. Presumably, the party might think, if some of them are complaining, that they've got salaries unpaid since 2023, or at least dating back to that date. You can imagine they think perhaps it's for passion rather than pay. Would you do what you do for no money?
Good morning, Bongani. No, I just heard Shamila Botoy there, and I smell a rat. I think she's intentionally throwing the case here. A lot of people are dying out there. Eh? A lot of people have been assassinated. And could it be possible that under the pressure, or under some pressure, she's deliberately sabotaging this case? Angas. Anonymous.
Yeah, anonymous. That's pure speculation. She's a month or two from retirement. There'd be no reason to do that. And of course, don't forget, as has been pointed out in proceedings, she was the original complainant, as it were. She insists, of course, she only referred the matter to the president, but it was based on her dissatisfaction. And that is what is being tested at the moment. So there's no reason to throw a case in which you are the original complainant, if that makes any sense. Not when you're a month or so away from retirement. In any case, that doesn't make sense here. But clearly a lot of what we are hearing and seeing also doesn't quite add up.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Well, let's talk about this now. The Mzansi National Philharmonic Orchestra doing something quite different. Leading them will be Maren Alsop, one of the world's most celebrated conductors, the first woman to ever lead a major American orchestra. It's going to be quite extraordinary. Alsop doesn't wait for permission. She's one of those who simply earns it. She's spent decades rewriting the rules of classical music, championing young musicians, challenging elitism, and showing that leadership, of course, knows no gender, language, or continent. And she is in South Africa to guide the Mzansi Philharmonic Orchestra on their Voices of Home tour. And it's one that starts in Johannesburg, will go to Durban, and end up in Cape Town. And I am so pleased to tell you that Maren Alsop joins us virtually now to talk about the tour and her experience with the Mzansi Philharmonic and what it means for classical music in South Africa. Maren, thank you so much for talking to us. This is quite a coup for the Mzansi Philharmonic Orchestra.
Well, it's my pleasure to be with you, and it's my pleasure to be back in South Africa. I did the very first tour with them in 2023, and I think, or 2022 maybe it was, and we did Beethoven Ninth Symphony. And this program is really, it just blows it out of the water. It's so exciting, and we're joined by the wonderful South African cellist, Abel's Salochoe. I think I'm saying his name correctly. And he's playing a piece, a concerto that he's composed himself.
Oh, wow.
But he not only plays cello, he also improvises, he sings, he intones, and he gets the audience singing with him. It's so exciting, and it feels so embracing, and I think that's what I love about this country, that sense of embrace and openness.
And of course, the idea that this kind of music can have many different iterations, if you will. This Voices of Home tour specifically, of course, is about connecting the classical tradition with local sounds and local identity. How fascinating has that been for you to learn or become familiar with some of the South African music?
Oh, it's absolutely wonderful. It's a whole, it's a treasure chest to discover. And I think really this idea of classical music, quote unquote classical music, that's for only an elite audience. We really need to dispel this. These programs are about members of this community, of this country, that are so incredibly talented and that can compete on the world stage. And Bongani Tembe has put together this incredible orchestra, with the belief that it can really represent the country, which it does. And the musicians are from all over, and they're doing a fantastic job. And we're having just an absolute blast.
Is it still an issue for you? I mean, for many of us, perhaps seeing a woman on the podium conducting is still something we don't see quite often. I'd imagine you've inspired musicians all around the world. And what would your message be to young, particularly female musicians in South Africa seeing you? What would they take from your presence and leadership?
I think that it's still a bit of a struggle. I mean, it's always an upward climb for in terms of equality on every level. And I would say that if you have a passion, just pursue that passion and don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something.
The tour, of course, as I said in my introduction, will start in Johannesburg, then move on to Durban and then to Cape Town. Having toured South Africa before, do you have a sense of perhaps differences regionally in terms of how South African audiences respond? And could I even ask the question, how do we respond compared to audiences from elsewhere in the world?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't think I'm well versed enough to comment on the regional differences, but because all the audiences have been incredibly receptive and seem super engaged. Our concert already this Thursday night in Johannesburg is sold out. I think there are a few tickets left for Wednesday. So you see that there's an interest in this from the public. And I would just say to people that have never been to a classical concert, don't feel intimidated. Come down and listen and watch these talented musicians, who are members of your community, and support them.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. I think it's an absolute privilege to have you in the country, and a coup for the Mzansi National Philharmonic. As you say, Thursday already sold out, only really Wednesday available, and it's happening, of course, at the Linda Auditorium. Tickets are from around 200 Rand, so really, really quite affordable. And you've got a legendary conductor who is going to be holding the baton. Maren Alsop, thank you so much for talking to us, and I hope you have a fantastic tour.
My pleasure. See you there. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. International conductor with the Mzansi National Philharmonic for this fantastic, fantastic tour.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
Voices of Home, it is called, and you'll get to hear my voice once more tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. Right now, the Clement Manyatela show starts.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I am Sfiso Zulu. National Police Commissioner Fani Masimula is confident of a breakthrough in the criminal justice system or his other work in the private security industry. Police have now identified 3 people of interest and found a car they believe was used in the attack.